Good day, everyone. Good day. I'm a few minutes early. We're going live here. Like I said, I'm a few minutes early. I wanted to make sure I was organized and everything, and I guess I was. There we go. There we go. Now I'm just trying to get the live to show up. What's going on? Sorry, I'm just trying to figure this out here. There we go. I think we got it. Oh, there we go. There we go. Got the hello, Mama Mia. How you doing, Mama Mia? How's it going? You're the first today. You're the first today. Yeah. This is great. You know what? I'm really new at, well, fairly new at um, YouTube to some degree. Only been about a year and a half, I guess. But I'm even newer at the live stuff. I'm figuring this out, but I'm sure you're noticing already that happy Sunday to everybody. Thanks, Mama Mia. I'm sure you're noticing that I figured out how to do the panoramic or landscape view rather than that narrow view from before. I knew that was possible. I'd seen other people doing it and I couldn't figure it out. I just figured it out today, so now got a better view here for you all, wider view, so you know I don't have to keep my head stuck in the center of those two lines kind of thing. So much better now, eh? Is it much better? What do you think, Mama Mia? Oh. Oh, excuse me. Wow, a lot of dust in here. So what do you think? You like this panoramic view a lot better? I kind of like it. I think it's great. I think I started a little too early. I just want to make sure I'm organized, and I guess I got a little too organized. Started about 5 minutes early. So I think a lot of people don't show up until the last minute. Hello, Darlene. How you doing? How you doing? I'll say hi to Baby and Angel when I get back to the truck. They're over there in the truck right now. This morning I got up. It was really sunny at 8 o'clock in the morning. Beautiful sunny morning. Then half an hour later it went cloudy. Then the sun came out again. Then another half an hour it went cloudy again. And it's been really super cloudy everywhere now. Could be a chance of rain. They said there might be a chance of 40 or 50% chance of rain today. So I got the umbrella over me. I think you can see that just in case. I got a jacket on. It's a little cooler today, but it was really warm when the sun was out at 8 o'clock. It was really nice. Looked like it was going to be a great day. They predicted 22 degrees, but not going to happen now if it stays like this. Yeah. Hello, Cat Free. How you doing? How are you doing? She's saying it. Hi to everybody. Oh my God, I feel like crap today again. My Crohn's is really acting up lately. There's so many things happening with my body. Oh, it's crazy. I took some medications, hopefully I can power through all this and give you a good show. It's just that my innards are turning over and acting up, and I don't know, it's going to maybe affect my my voice and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Cat Free says it's a beautiful day in Rhode Island. Yeah, cool. Cool. That's a place I'd like to visit. I haven't traveled very far at all. I've been down through Oregon, Washington, Oregon, parts of California. That's about it. And then back east in Canada, to Ontario a couple of times. And Alberta a couple of times, but that's about it. I haven't really gone too far. Oh, I went to Hawaii once when I was 18 and then 19. First week was 18, second week was 19. It was funny because when I was in Hawaii, my mom kept saying, do you want to have a beer or something when they stopped along the beach? And I was 18 and I said, no. I was really paranoid back in those days. I was very paranoid of lots of things, but I was paranoid of being in a foreign country and getting busted for drinking alcohol, right? Then my birthday came up midway in the 2-week period, and I turned 19. And so we were staying at the Elikai Hotel, and my mom and dad took me up to the top of the eye, they call it. It's the top, and it's a restaurant, bar, whatever up there. And we had some drinks and stuff, and so I was having my first drink, and my mom says, you know, it was the drinking age in Hawaii is 18, you know. And I'm like, what? I mean, I could have been drinking for a week? Oh man. So I made up for it that night. Yeah, I got a little inebriated for my 19th birthday, but you know, that's what we do. Hello, Van Lalenga. How you doing? Hello. Good to see you could show up. I guess you noticed you may have noticed I started a little early. I guess I started about 5 minutes early. I was trying to get organized and everything like that. And that's that. So I got a video coming out on Tuesday. I recorded I filmed most of it on Thursday, Friday. It's ready to upload for Tuesday, and I'm getting caught up. Stupid notifications. Oh my. Yeah, getting caught up on things and stuff like that. Got a lot of firewood chopped up and stuff. I guess I shouldn't tell you that, eh? But you guys are going to be the first to know that I got all the firewood chopped up. I got a bunch of stuff organized and that. And I emptied out most of my storage locker over there. There's only a few things left. And now that I'm kind of to this point, either this afternoon after I do my live, or more likely tomorrow morning, I'm going to hook up my little tiny house and I'm going to head up to Englishman River Falls Campground. I have a few more days left there for this year, so I'm going to head up there and use up the rest of my days up there, and then after that I'm going to head down on Rathtrevor at some point. I've got at least 10 days left there at Rathtrevor, so I'll be down there. And then I might just start moving around a little, so we'll see what happens. But you guys are the first to hear about this, so don't tell anyone. Yeah, that's cool, eh? Darlene says, I had to laugh when you put baby on a timeout. She looked really mad at me. Yeah, she had her back to me, didn't even want to play. Yeah, just like a kid who got caught in the cookie jar. That's right, exactly. Yeah, she knew she was out of control or whatever. But I was trying to get her to be accustomed to Buffy, that little puppy of my friends there, same age as Angel. But I couldn't let her go because when I tried to let her go, she would snap at the dog. So I said, screw it, give her a timeout. Oh, Lila. Happy Sunday to you too. You just realized I was live again? Oh, you didn't see my notification on Friday? Friday afternoon? I try and give an early notification, but I tend to forget, and then I go, oh shoot, I gotta get that out. Hey Craig, how you doing? You weren't the first this time. How's it going today? How's weather in your neck of the woods? It's could threaten to rain today. Anything could happen today. Anything. Oh, Night Owl. Hey, how you doing, Night Owl? How's it going? Everyone say hi to Night Owl and Craig Betts. Yeah, so for those who just showed up, I'm assuming you've seen the different view on this live video here. I figured out how to do the panoramic view on a wide view instead of that really narrow view. I knew it was possible. I just had never gotten around to figuring that out. But yeah, does it look much better now? Like you can see a much wider view of everything with me and it. And I can move back and forth and I don't go out of view. Isn't that cool? Night Owl's doing yard work as usual. Yeah, it's Sunday and the weekends are the time for yard work and all that household stuff. Spring cleaning, and then at this time of year you clean up for the winter because you got to make everything organized because you're going to spend most of your time inside and make it messy, right? So hence spring cleaning coming up in 3 or 4 months or 5 months or whatever. Yeah, so let's see. Let's see. So let's see if a few more people show up. We might do some singing here. I know I've threatened to, but doesn't always mean I'll do it if there's not enough people. I guess it doesn't really matter who shows up. If there's only one or two of you or something, I guess you deserve the treat for showing up. Darlene saying hello to everyone, of course. There we go. There we go. Oh, yeah. So, I am so sore and stiff today. I've been working, like I was saying, I did a cut a whole bunch of firewood. You're going to find out on Tuesday when the video goes up. I'm just sore. My innards are all messed up and just not feeling my best today. I'm trying really hard to stabilize here. Trying very, very hard. Not that easy. Oh, boy. But I'm getting some positive energy to myself because, like I said, I'm getting organized and I'm going to be hoping to travel around to some campsites and wherever else really soon here, and instead of staying in one spot for a long period of time. So that's an update for all of you, and the rest of the subscribers that don't show up today, we'll have to find that out later. So you get the heads up on that right now. I'm gonna be moving around a bit. I feel just burnt out. I don't know why. I was actually feeling better this morning when I got up and I had my coffee, but I fell asleep just before midnight last night, and then I woke up at 3, so I had 3 hours sleep. And then I tried to fall asleep again. I might have dozed off for up to an hour maybe, but I didn't get a lot of sleep. I'm still recuperating from all those antibiotics. Those were really, really potent antibiotics. It really messed up my guts, and I'm just starting to settle down a bit now. It's kind of back and forth. And of course I did, like I said, I was doing all that work in my body's muscles and everything. Joints and all that are hurting like crazy. Yeah, so now that some of you are here, we got to warm up a little bit. Warm up the lungs, see if I can do anything. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Sister helped to trim the sails, hallelujah. Sister helped to trim the sails, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Thanks, Mama Mia. Jordan River is chilly and cold, hallelujah. Chills the body but not the soul, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Jordan River is muddy and wide, hallelujah. Milk and honey on the other side, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Michael row the boat ashore, hallelujah. Oh, thanks, Darlene. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Got a couple of hallelujahs. Yeah, that's a cool old song. It takes me way back to when I was a kid, just a young kid, camping out with the family and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I should have told you before. If you know the song, sing along, and I'm sure you did. Yeah, it is a great song, isn't it, Darlene? Yeah, I like that one. Yeah, it gives me fond memories. Fond memories. So I'm just trying to see if my voice is going to work today. I don't know if I probably told a couple of people before everyone else showed up, but my girls are over in the truck over there. It's cloudy out and very cool, hence the jacket. And so I brought them over here so I can keep a better eye on them. They're kind of barking at people coming and going. But they're good, and keep an eye on them. I worry when they're too far away and I can't see them, in case somebody goes and tries to break into my little house or something like that. But anyway, they are with me. So, should I warm up some more again? They love to do that around here with their vehicles and cars and vehicles and stuff. They love to make noise in this neighborhood, especially on the weekends. Yeah, especially late at night sometimes, like anywhere after 10, between 10 and midnight. Yeah. Well, that's another thing too. Today's Sunday. Yeah, yesterday they had the Port Alberni toy run again with all the motorbikes and taking the toys up for the toys children's hospital fund to give out the toys to the kids who normally wouldn't have toys at Christmas kind of thing. So that was cool. There's a million bikes. I swear to God, there was at least double the amount of bikes going by yesterday than it was last year. I don't know, but there was a hell of a lot of them. I'll have to look into that. I did some filming of some of the bikes going by, but I missed the first main procession that was really long. So I'm not sure if I'm going to use those video clips in an upcoming video or not, but we'll see. We'll see what kind of content I got. So, anyone know these things? Sing along. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to the one who lives there. She once was a true love of mine. Tell her to make me a cambric shirt. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Without any seams or no needlework. Then she'll be a true love of mine. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to the one who lives there. She was once a true love of mine. Tell her to find me an acre of land. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Between the salt water and the sea strand. Then she'll be a true love of mine. Tell her to reap it with a sickle of leather. Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. And to gather it all in a bunch of heather. Then she'll be a true love of mine. Are you going to Scarborough Fair? Parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme. Remember me to the one who lives there. She was once a true love of mine. That one wasn't perfect like it was when I practiced before. What else we got here? Those are done. Those are done. So, let's catch up with you guys. Oh, now you're making me drool. I haven't had that in a long time. I have to go down and buy some dried peas and make my own homemade pea soup. Darlene says she just made a big pot of homemade split pea soup. Oh my God, I love that stuff. And I make some of the best homemade pea soup around, in my estimation. Oh, you're making me drool. I'm jealous. That is too cool. Too cool, yeah. That's awesome. I wish I could have some. Send me some in the mail, Darlene, yeah. And thanks for loving the song and the memories, yeah. Well, you're welcome there, Mamma Mia. You're welcome, yeah. I'm glad you enjoy this. I mean, I enjoy doing it just because, you know, sometimes I just sit at home and sing to the walls or something and that. And then I ended up, after many years, going to karaoke and trying that out. You know, I didn't think I was that great, but everybody there just kept asking me to sing stuff. So I don't know. And now you guys keep doing that. So I don't know. I don't think I hear myself the way that else does, but that's the way it is. That's the way it is. Excuse me. Yeah, I know you would, Darlene. I know you'd bring me some soup if you lived near me. I'm sure you would. It would be nice, but it's a good thing I can cook well. My mother taught me pretty well. She taught me most of the basics, like when we were, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old, we were pretty darn young. Me, my brother, and my sister, and she taught us how to cook our own breakfast, like bacon and eggs and all that kind of stuff, and putting cereals together. We could cook our own oatmeal and that. And then, for some reason, she started teaching me how to make cakes and pies and stuff. But then after learning a whole bunch from my mom and getting older into my teenage years and that, I just started branching out and learning new things on my own and trying new experiments and stuff, and then going out. I became a real foodie, going out to restaurants and that, eating a bunch of food and then going home and trying to replicate it. And I was pretty good at doing it too. So yeah, my mom taught me all the good basics, and then I was basically, the rest of it I was self-taught. And yes, you are right, Darlene. It is important to teach boys so that they can be self-sufficient in the kitchen, teach them how to do laundry, make their bed, clean their room. And also, it's not a bad idea to teach girls how to do mechanics and that sort of stuff as well. Like, some of the best mechanics I've met in my life are women. Yeah, because they had to try so much harder, to either match or outdo the guys and not get ridiculed in that. And, some of them were very, very impressive. Some of them are probably some of the only ones I'd want working on my vehicles. I get a lot of guys saying, "Oh yeah, I can do this and I can do that." And no, they can't. Wish my pills would kick in. I'm still feeling a little run down, a little blah, 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 blah. So we've had 2 songs. It looks like a lot of people are busy this Sunday. I don't think there's a long weekend or anything special going on. It's not Mother's Day or Father's Day or anything like that. But seems like not as many people showing up today, but stuff happens. Things go in cycles. And that's the way it is. I babble a lot. I try and fill the dead airspace with words. So there's not too many boring things. I've watched a lot of things, and you see people that they don't talk for a while and say, "Wow, nothing's happening. This is boring. What's going on?" Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, I was hoping for a few more people to show up, like Carl and John, and I can't remember everyone's name, because I know they, and Christina, and still trying to think. I think I'm still half asleep. But there's some songs there that I know they mentioned that I've been working on, so I know, I got an interesting thing for you. This is where I was hoping more people would be here. So what we got here? Oh, that's that one. Okay, that's that one. So this one is where did it go? Where did it go? There we go. There we go. I knew it was around here somewhere. I knew it was around here somewhere. Come on, people, show up. Okay, this is a challenge for you guys. I've always liked this guy from way back in my early 20s. He's probably around before that. I don't know. Been around a long time. Very well known, very famous. Not necessarily to everyone, but as far as the whole world goes, he's very well known, and he's been around a long time. But I'm not sure that anyone else would recognize this song and recognize that this song comes from that person I'm referring to. So let's try this out. Let's see. I'm gonna keep watching the comments there, and I'm gonna see the first one to tell me who the song was written and performed by. Gets a big pat in the back. It'll be a long reach to pat you on the back, but let me know if you know not only this person and his regular stuff, his contemporary stuff out there on the radio and that, but also this kind of obscure stuff that there's a lot of artists that have obscure stuff that doesn't hit the airwaves, and not too many people know it unless they buy the album or something. So let's, even though nobody else is showing up yet, let's check this out. Let me know, any one of you, tell me who did this song. Now young Now young Mr. Moon flew away in the night with his friend Magnus right by his side. They soared through the Milky Way counting the stars, once around Venus, twice around Mars. Then they spied an island rise out of the sea. They fell back to earth just as free as you please. The children all gathered, the church bells did ring. Suddenly everyone started to sing. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Queen of the island, she welcomed them in, asking them questions of where they had been. She offered them chocolate, she offered them tea. They all took their seats in the top of a tree. And raccoons brought wine, and the mice, they brought cheese. Beautiful birds floated by on the breeze. From out in the oceans, the dolphins began humming a tune that soon covered the land. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. So young Princess Leia brought coral and pearls, gifts to the travelers from some other world. The bush doctor mixed up a magical spell, swore them to secrecy, never to tell. So young Mr. Moon flew away in the night with his friend Magnus still right by his side. The sun was just rising, they'd be home by noon, humming the words to this magical tune. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. I guess nobody was listening to the song. They're all still interested in the other stuff that was commented on before. So Night Owl says, taught both my sons to cook, clean, wash clothes, shop, and how to stretch a penny till it screamed for mercy. I like that one. That's really good. Do you know how copper wire was invented? Two Scotsmen were fighting over a penny. That's funny. Stretch a penny till it screamed for mercy. I like that one. That's good. So Kim, how you doing? Good. Glad you could show up, Kim. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Need company? Yeah, I always need company. I'm alone with my two dogs. That's it. I always like to have company, unless I'm sleeping or something. But yeah, but I don't know. Does that mean you're in the neighborhood and you're going to stop by while I'm doing my live, or what? Are you going to travel over here from some distant place to keep me company for a time frame or something? Clarify, please. Oh, you're new too. Oh, okay. You're new. Okay. I thought I recognized you from before. A new subscriber, Kim. Hello, Kim. How's it going? Glad you could show up. Glad you could be a new subscriber and everything. That's great. Margaret Omani. Is that right? Margaret Omani? Is that how you say that? Ah, hello from Ireland. Ireland, the place where my family hails from, Ireland. My bucket list to go there and see the Emerald Isle and all the beautiful places there. I would love to. I'd love to. Just love to. The only thing is I really don't think I'd want to travel with my dogs, because unless I could take them on a seat beside me in the plane instead of in the cargo section, I've heard nightmares about dogs being in their cage in a cargo section, and it's not cool, and it's loud and noisy. It scares the shit out of them. Anyway, so yeah, traveling overseas or somewhere I have to fly, I would really want to guarantee that I got my dogs beside me in the plane rather than in cargo. So the chances of me getting to Ireland before my dogs are gone is fairly slim, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm getting all the message or not, but So nobody knew that song, eh? Were you all listening? I don't know if there's enough people here to actually focus on listening to that song, but I'm gonna wait quite a while and see if anyone comes up with. I know Darlene didn't. She says, question, question, question. Yeah, that's probably true, Kim. Probably true. I think it's neat to have dogs, but a human could be more fun. Yeah, that's true in a lot of ways. True in a lot of ways. But some of the I have an expression. Well, I borrowed the expression from somebody else that created it. But it goes, the more people I meet, the more I love my dogs. Because most of the people I meet are crazy, whatever, messed up people or something. But yeah, you find the right people though. If you find the right people, yeah, they can be a lot more fun and entertaining in that. But they seem to be few and far between. But yeah, Kim, if you're in the neighborhood, stop by, say hi, do a meet and greet and stuff and whatever. Always like to meet new people, especially if they're nice. So anyway, Night Owl, I'm not really taking requests at this very moment. I will write things down and try them later. But the thing is, okay, I went through, it was at least a week ago, I went through all of Jim Crochet's songs. I love Jim Crochet. First time I heard him, it was fabulous. And I was so sad when he died in the airplane crash and that. But I've gone through all this stuff, and he's another tricky one. Certain artists have a certain voice in that, and they can carry their own tune that they created very well. And another person with a voice like mine, let's say, unless we figure out how to get that tune in our head, can't do it well. I tried a bunch of his songs, and I just can't seem to pull them off. And the only one that I probably think I could is Time in a Bottle. But on most of these songs, I get the chorus, and I do the chorus well, but it's the inner parts of the song that I can't get the tune in my head, and it just sounds like I'm talking and just saying the words and poetically or whatever, and I'm not actually getting the tune so people understand the song I'm singing. But I am working on that one. Maybe for another time. Time in a Bottle, I love that too. Just love it. Love Jim Crochet. Yeah, a bit of Irish too would make me feel better. Definitely, definitely. Yeah. That goes almost without saying. Yeah. Good old Irish stew. I need to put on my glasses because I'm squinting. Well, kind of. I squint to see, but if I put my glasses on, my glasses are for distance. I only need them for distance, like when I'm driving. I have to see far away. I can see perfectly up close to about 4 feet. But if I put my glasses on, I couldn't read your comments. So it's not quite that I'm squinting. It's that the light and everything is thing. But I do have a tendency to squint anyway. Oh, thank you, Kim. She says, I sure will. I'm nice. I hope so. And then the part I'm thanking her for is that she says she loves how I live and it's so peaceful. Yeah, it kind of is. Kind of is, I mean, I miss certain amenities and stuff of having my own apartment or stuff, or my own house or whatever. But for the cost of everything that nobody can afford anymore, it's better just to do what I'm doing here. And once you get used to it, it's not too bad. Not too bad at all. Oh, thanks, Night Owl. My singing is 100%. Wow, I'm glad you hit 100%. Wow, that's a really good vote of confidence. Better than yours even. Even on my worst day, my singing is better than yours even on my worst day. Wow. I don't know if I want to hear you sing ever. But yeah, here we go. Oh, I see. That's what that means. I'm reading the stats here. It's trying to figure out how many people are here. And I was looking at how many likes there was. It was lower than how many people are here. Yeah, but I've been researching a lot of people like Van Morrison. Van Morrison's really hard to do too. I've got one that I can probably vaguely pull off, but there's a lot of artists out there that are really tricky to do their songs because they have their own voice for their own songs that they created, right, for themselves and their voice, right? So I don't know. An average person like me can't do everyone's songs. You have to have a very special, really musical voice to do all kind of songs, or many, many songs. That's very true, Margaret. Very true. I'm so happy with a simple life, yes, and others have millions and millions, but they're always complaining and never contented. That is very true. Very true. That's a sad thing about money is when people are chasing after money, they never have enough, and they got to have more and more and more, and then they're just being silly and greedy. Just crazy. But when I do my videos, when I do my lives and that, I've got the persona of being happy and enjoying life and all that kind of stuff in my situation, that which is true. But when I'm off camera, that's when I really let my hair down, and I don't care, because there's nobody there to see me, so I don't care what I look like or feel like or anything, and I'll just sit around moaning and groaning and going, because I feel that way, right? Like right now, I feel like crap. Literally, I don't know why. I was starting to get better there a bit, and I'm just not up to snuff again. But I do have a lot of bad moments, and I just don't show them online, because the whole point of having a YouTube channel is for entertainment, basically. And it wouldn't be very entertaining if I was just lying around moaning and groaning on my bed and going, oh, I hurt, and complaining. What? Oh, I see. Night owl. When your son was a baby, you were not allowed to sing him lullabies. The little stinker would put his little hand over your mouth. Yeah, babies and the elderly are truthful, aren't they? Everyone in between tells lies to suit the purposes or cover up whatever, right? But yeah, babes are very innocent, and they'll tell you exactly how they feel. And I guess elderly people are turning into babes again, going senile and that, and they'll also tell you exactly how they feel. Yeah, that is so true, so true, so very true. Oh, Darlene says her grandma would sing to her and she loved it. Yeah. When I was growing up, it was kind of funny. That's probably why I've been just singing to the walls mostly, because I never, for most of my life, I never went out and sang to anyone or in any public forum of any sort. I was too shy, embarrassed, whatever you want to say, until like into my later life. I think I was probably in my mid to late 40s before I started doing karaoke. Seemed like fun. But anyway, when I was growing up, my mom had a habit, like we're like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, like really young, and we'd come up and let's say we'd ask her a question, and she'd just turn around and start singing a song, stuff like that. And almost every question we asked her, she came up with a song to sing kind of around the words of the question we asked her. It was a lot of fun, but sometimes it was annoying because it was hard to get a straight answer out of her and get her to answer our question. Hello, euphoric granny. How you doing? How's it going? And I'm right. I don't know what I'm right about, but I'm probably right about everything. Nice to see you show up, euphoric granny. Yeah, awesome, awesome. Yeah, I used to do a lot of humming and whistling back in the day, but that was about the only thing I did out, possibly in public or with anyone around, was humming and singing. Or sorry, humming and whistling, but usually never singing. Yeah, but that I thought that was interesting. You said your grandma sang to you all the time, because my mom kind of did too. But my mom wouldn't sing in front of anyone. I guess she was self-conscious in that. But my dad, well, he was self-conscious too, but he drank a bit, so he would get his courage, and when mom prompted him and said, hey, sing us a song, he'd sing a song, like when it's roundup time in Texas. That was our favorite song of his. Yeah, He did a lot of good songs. Glad to hear you're doing good, Euphoric Granny. Yep. Glad to hear you're doing good. But yeah, that could be where I get my motivation or my desire to have a musical background. I remember having there's always music in our house, in our family, all the time. Either someone was humming or singing or whistling, or there's always music on somewhere, like the radio or something like that, record player, all that sort of stuff. And I guess it just came naturally. And I used to have a poster once. It said, it was by George Thoreau. I can't remember how it goes. There's music in the crying of the reed. There's music in the rushing of the rills. There is music in all the spheres, meaning the planets, if man had just had ears. Something like that. And I love that because it said, you know, life was about music. Life and music went hand in hand. And I always thought that was cool. That was way back when I was a pre-teenager too. Get a better angle here. Whoops. I keep sticking my head down to look at the comments and that. Thanks, Euphoric Granny. You and all these other people have really, I don't know, are tone deaf or something. Sorry. Apparently I have a fabulous voice and I can sing for them anytime. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence. That's so cool, so cool. Wow. I'm glad you feel that because I feel like crap today. I really do. I don't feel positive energies in my body at all. I feel blah, blah, blah. But that is so cool. Euphoric Granny says, my energy is flowing into her heart. I have positive vibrations today. I'm glad I'm giving positive vibrations. That's my whole kind of point and desire when I do this. Is like I was saying earlier, when I do my videos and my lives and all that, I just want to give off positive entertainment and make everyone feel, you know, they've had a good time or something like that, and enjoy themselves. I don't ever want to sit around moaning and complaining about everything under the sun. I mean, with all the things going on in the world, you should hear me complain about all the garbage going on with the 1%ers, the rich money people. Oh, when I'm off camera, boy, I get into some real rants about those evil, greedy buggers in the world. And of course my health too. Oh, so happy to hear my voice. You guys are nuts. Sorry, I can't help that one. I don't know. I don't know. Apparently, we don't hear ourselves like you hear us. And if we record our own voice on a tape recorder or whatever and play it back to us, we still don't hear it the way you hear it. That's what I understand from that kind of science or whatever. That's what I understand. I don't know how true it is, but yeah, whether I hear myself in my head or hear myself on the recorded version, I don't know. To me, it doesn't sound the greatest, but you guys think it's really good, so I don't know. I don't know. Someone may come down and do some karaoke with me at some point. Well, I'm glad I did my job well. Thank you, thank you. I'm glad you can't tell how badly I'm feeling and everything like that, and giving off positive and making everyone smile and stuff like that. That's good. It's the whole purpose. Thank you, Euphoric Granny. Thanks for the vote of confidence. That's right. I actually, Darlene, I don't watch the news anymore. The traditional news. I never watch traditional news anymore. I always go online and check all the sites that I'm confident are the real, true people bringing us the truth and the reality of what's going out there, and not all the garbage on the mainstream news. Because all the mainstream news media channels, they're all owned by the same group of people, and so they're all promoting the same bullshit news. So yeah, it gets really upsetting to watch what's going on, and you just have to shut it off sometimes and live in your own little world with the man upstairs and having chats with him and enjoying your life. Yeah, it's it can get depressing seeing what's going on out there. Well, if it was going to be a speedy recovery night, Al, it should have happened 17 years ago. No, it's mostly my Crohn's disease. I've had it 17 years now, severe Crohn's, and I just can't seem to do anything about it. I keep trying new stuff, new things, and I'm looking into another thing that I'm going to order and try that. Apparently it's supposed to work. I've looked into the science of it all, and as long as they're not scammers, it should be something to work. Yeah, Night Owl, I haven't actually watched standard television for probably 15 years. You know, just on a rare. When I got out of the hospital, I was staying at my friend's to convalesce there. He'd watch a lot of TV and cooking shows and animal shows and all sorts of stuff. And I just had nothing better to do, but lay around on the couch. So I just watched all the shows he was watching. But other than that, I hadn't seen any TV in about 15 years. It's crazy. And I certainly don't watch the news. Not the mainstream media news, that's for sure. I watch the good news online on YouTube and stuff, and I know who to go and listen to and who to get the truth from. Yeah, so we're moving on here. We got a few more people today. Let's see what else we got in our little magic book here. All right. Hey, here's a picture of Vancouver Island. You see that? That's a cutout of Vancouver Island. And it says, "Fuck off, we're closed." In other words, we don't want any more people on Vancouver Island. Where I got my stickers done, they have all sorts of crazy stickers like this. And sorry to use the swear word, but hey, you know, it's everywhere now. Anyone ever watch Gordon Ramsay? Every second word is the F word. Even kids are watching that, and I had parents tell me, they said, "Hey, quit swearing around my kids." And I said, "Hey, you let them watch Gordon Ramsay, don't you?" And they go, "Yeah, I want to teach them how to cook." "Yeah, and you're teaching them how to swear too." Oh, crazy. They just don't see that. They're nuts. You're right, Kim. I'm not missing anything with watching the mainstream news. You know, I'm not missing anything. That's because I'm catching up with all the truth tellers. Well, that's good to hear you for, Granny. You love your marijuana too much for stuff to upset you with life issues. Yeah, well, that does help to a certain point. But if you're chronic, then it just becomes normal for you, and things just upset you like you're normal. So hence, don't watch the news anymore. Okay, let's try this one. I was hoping certain people would show up because I know they mentioned different songs. Oh my God, too much information. I'm watching you and I'm stoned. That used to be me a while back. I haven't done that in a long time, just once in a while now. Just when I really, really need it, kind of thing. That's very true. What the hell was that? That was my notification on my phone. I missed it. Someone was sending me a message and I missed it. That doesn't matter. Night Owls says they have a niece on paleo diet for their Crohn's. I got to check that out. I got to check into that. I'm sure it's kind of similar to what I'm doing, but I'll definitely check into it more detail. And then Night Owl's on a 1940s diet for their ulcerative colitis. And that means nothing processed, no processed food, no packaged food, nothing artificial, no, absolutely nothing with high fructose sugar or the high fructose corn syrup either. Yeah, none of that garbage. No packaged stuff, none. Yeah, I stopped eating packaged food, I don't know. It's got to be at least 12 years ago, if not more. But yeah, no, I mean, certain packaged food, but it depends on the ingredients in there. If there's too many ingredients, forget it. If there's high fructose corn syrup or any corn syrup in there, or high fructose sugar or anything, no, never, 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 never. Hmm. Okay, that's interesting, Darlene. I guess that you're trying to say that you've never ever tried mushrooms. Well, the first time I tried mushrooms was when I was, I believe I was 16. 16, I was pretty young, in my teens. Tried mushrooms. I'm almost an expert in mushrooms now, especially the potent ones. But yeah, that's the thing you're going to have to try out on your own because everyone reacts differently to everything like marijuana, mushrooms, whatever the so-called drug is or whatever. I hate calling them drugs because they're not. They're a lot of them are medicines, especially mushrooms. Anyway, that's up to you, and you got to try different ones. I mean, Liberty caps are one of my favorites because they're a milder one, and you can go out and do stuff. Then you get the psilocybes. There's psilocybe cubensis. They're from down south, South America, I'm pretty sure, and they're pretty potent. And you know, for some people they go out and do stuff. Some people just sit on the couch and just enjoy the ride. And then there's the BC ones, BC and Washington. They're psilocybe cyanescens. They're the most potent ones on the planet, and I can pretty much prove it, or at least guarantee it, because I've tried just so many of them out there. And all the psilocybe cubensis, there's also the ones from the Philippines and all these other places, and there's slightly different variations of the cubensis. So it's virtually the same high or whatever, but the potent one from BC and Washington, they grow wild out here. They haven't hit the island though. I have never ever found them on the island, and that's because of the water in between, I guess. But yeah, that's something you're gonna have to try on your own. I would personally, I would search out Liberty caps or milder. Try those out, Darlene, and see how they make you feel. I mean, I know depression is a really hard thing to do, but if you can try and conquer your depression with your mind and your thoughts and all that without the drugs, you're probably much better off, because then it's in your head and you've conquered it with your psyche. And the drugs help you like temporary. The same with you smoke pot, you get high, you feel good, and then when the pot wears off, you're depressed again. So maybe, I don't know, I'm just throwing that out there. But yeah, if you're looking into them, try the Liberty caps if you can find them. I forget where you are, Darlene. I think you're in Europe somewhere in that general area. But Liberty caps not only grow in Vancouver, or the Queen Charlotte's up here, but they also grow in Wales. The two most famous spots for them is Queen Charlotte's and Wales. So if you can find some, try those, and then try the other ones. The ones like the potent ones, the psilocybe cyanescens that grow in BC and Washington, they're the most potent. And I take a small amount, and if I close my eyes, man, the colors and lights and things, and I have to open my eyes because it gets intense, and then just enjoy kind of. But I'm a couch potato on those ones. So you are what you eat, euphoric. So does that mean you're a mushroom? Oh, it's cute. Yeah, I always try to grow my own food too, but you know, unless you have an apartment with, you know, any space, a balcony or whatever. Like for me, I can't grow food anywhere. You know, I don't, unless I find a place on Crown land and I put a fence around it and everything, and make sure everyone stays away and all the animals stay out. But yes, actually, Darlene, that would probably be the best way to do it, because I like eating the mushrooms anyway. I just love the taste. It tastes like dirt and everything. Oh, it just tastes great. It tastes like Mother Earth. But many years ago when I was working on Wreck Beach, selling pop and chips and water and all that kind of stuff, that's where I first discovered the chocolate mushrooms. And they were everywhere. Everyone and their dog makes chocolate mushrooms, and they've been around a very, very long time. So yeah, if you have trouble chewing those things and eating them because of taste or whatever, try getting them done in chocolate. That's probably the best, because then you don't notice them. Another thing I do is I chop them up real as small as I can, and I throw them in hot water and make a tea out of them, and then you drink it down, and it's not so bad either. But that's going to be something you're going to have to try out on yourself. Oh, you're in Pennsylvania. Okay, Pennsylvania. Yeah. Apparently, yeah, they're legal in the States now, and there should be lots of places you can get the mushrooms, and especially the chocolate mushrooms, and probably mushrooms in other sources like cookies or candies or something as well. But something you're going to have to try out on your own and see how you feel about it. Start small. If you get a chocolate mushroom and it's a big chunk of chocolate, cut it in half or something first and try that first. But start with 1 gram and then move up or something. So Euphoric says, heck yeah, mushrooms are fantastic for lots of illnesses like depression, anxiety, or mania, and they really help her with mental health issues. Yeah, they certainly can. They certainly can. There's actually a lot of scientific research into them. More, even when they were illegal, a lot of research into them, and they know more about the true value and medicinal values of mushrooms than what we've been told by the government and all those retards. Freeze-dried mushrooms, yeah. Wow, okay. Night Owl says, in her area, a wild green which is said to have medicinal properties called poke salad. I'm sure I know what that is, but it's not called that I'm familiar with. I think I know what it is, but I have to look that up. Your grandmother used to cook it all the time, and it's poisonous if you don't cook it correctly. That's interesting. Yeah, I kind of tend to stay away from those ones that you have to do just the certain right way or they're poisonous. And if you do it the right way, they're good medicine. I know of other plants and that can do that, and I kind of stay away from those because I don't ever want. I've poisoned myself only once with mushrooms. It wasn't a big deal or anything, but it was just overconfidence or something. And I don't want to go through any poisoning from any plant, wild plant or anything of any sort again, because it's not fun. So I try and stick with the stuff that is good medicine but doesn't have a toxic or poisonous effect on you. I mean, a lot of the stuff the wild foraging plants that do for medicine, if you eat it in vast abundances, you have to eat tons and tons. I mean, more than any human would normally eat, and it can become toxic. Of course, some of the stuff I take, but you have to take it in very large doses to make it work. That's one of the best ways to grow your mushrooms, in sawdust or wood chips or something, and a dark spot. Yeah. Oh, that's good. Sounds like you know what you're doing, Euphoric Granny. Keep it up. Working on the mushroom spores and got the sawdust, wood chips and that, and dark spot. Yep. It's all right for doing mushrooms. Okay, cool. Yeah, I still have, I think, 2 different types of mushrooms at home. Had them for 1 or 2 years now, I think. I haven't done mushrooms in probably 2 years. I don't know, it's one of those things. When I was young, I used to love it. I guess a lot of it was an escape, and now I'm older, I don't need to escape so much as I, just do things for medicinal reasons. So I don't do it as much, but I've been sitting there every time I open my cupboard and I see them sitting there. I think, oh, I got to do these one days. I need a break. I need to get my head out of my butt and have a break and just travel the universe on the mushrooms and have a better outlook on everything in the universe. And that's what it'll do. That's what it'll do for you. That's great. Great to hear, Night Owl. Her grandma lived to be 98 with no health problems right till the very end. That's pretty good. And all her wild foraging and everything with whatever plant she was doing, probably many different plants and stuff. That's part of the reason why I would say. But apparently they dipped into the snuff every day most of her life. You know what? Some people can smoke cigarettes every day, all their life, and live a very long life. And then some people can smoke it and die young of cancer or something. Some people can drink and die of old age, and some people can drink and then die of cirrhosis of the liver or something. It all depends on the person too sometimes. Oh, so the poke salad is to be done in early spring. In summer, it's toxic. Okay, I'm gonna look more into that and see. I don't know if I'll ever try it, but you never know. You never know. I'm always trying stuff. There's a plant out there. Two plants. Okay, I don't know how many of you remember my friend Ivan, the old guy that lived out down the road down there, way out in practically on the edge of the wilderness. Or he was on the edge of the wilderness. Anyway, his grandmother in Slavia, back in the old Slavia, way back when, the doctors would give up on people that had stage 5 prosthetic cancer, and they said, "Go home and die. We can't do anything for you." So she would take them. She'd give them this tea, great willow herb, and she'd give them this tea every day over a period of time, and she would completely reverse them from stage 5 prosthetic cancer to 100% healthy again after the doctors had given up. And so Ivan was showing me this stuff, and he was telling me about it. And he said, he was kind of pushing it at me, gave me a bag full. And I guess sometimes, like I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, you got to do this and do this," and they're just quacks, right? I run into a lot of quacks saying, "Oh yeah, this will do this and that." But anyway, so apparently he knows exactly what he's talking about, and so does his grandmother, because I researched over and over and over again, and I found that herb, the great willow herb, and it's sort of slightly distant relative. A lot of you have probably heard of fireweed. A lot of people make fireweed honey, and apparently fireweed honey is very healthy for you. And fireweed itself, the plant, is very healthy for you. And so the overall genus, I guess it's called, is Onagraceae, and underneath that is great willow herb and fireweed. And they're very, very closely related. You can see the difference between the two, and you can identify them differently. Go, "Oh yeah, that's great willow herb, that's fireweed," even though they look very much alike. And I found a ton of fireweed, which apparently is supposed to do the same things or similar things as the great willow herb. And I only found one great willow herb, and that's another thing I was going to get to in another foraging video coming up when I get around to it, because I have to find the plants and do the stuff and do the research and everything. But anyway, I picked a whole bunch of fireweed, and I've been drying it out, and I'm going to dry it, and I've got to get a ton of it, because if you're going to do something like that, like make tea out of this wild medicinal plant, you got to do it at least 3, 4, 5 times a day in tea, and you got to do that for a minimum of 3 months, so it can actually have its effect on your body, and sometimes longer, but usually it's a minimum of 3 months. And anyway, I wish I had listened to Ivan sooner and not sort of brushed it off, and got into it and got him to help me collect it and everything, because now I'm at the point now through the research, I go, this could be the thing that I'm looking for, and so now I have to collect it all and get enough, and then try it over the next 3 months. Excuse me. And see how it works on my condition and situation. That's another thing that'll be coming up with that poke salad. I heard of that like a long, long time ago. I really don't know what it is, but I'm going to look into it. Well, that's because you got a good genetics there, euphoric. All the women in her family live very long lives and have no problems with their health. Well, yeah, a lot of families are like that. I think a lot of that is genetic. I don't know if it's environmental or whatever, but a lot of people just have good genetics, and some people, they got heart problems all through their family. Everyone dies of heart attacks, or they have their whole family has gastrointestinal problems like Crohn's or ileitis or stuff like that. So I think a lot of that can be a genetic thing through your DNA. Hmm. Okay, well, I'm definitely going to look into that. Old school salad that was made in early spring when there wasn't much more greens around and it was mixed with dandelions. Nice. I know dandelions are very healthy for you. Extremely healthy. Hi there, Anna. How you doing? You're making curry. Didn't you make curry last time? I love curry. Oh, you're making me drool. I'll put curry on almost anything. I will do that. But glad you can make it. Glad you can make it. Oh, okay. So you've tried the fireweed teas. I've heard it's very tasty, very nice flavor, almost a sweetness to it, and very refreshing. Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard all that. So I'm looking forward to checking it out. Definitely. I know all the First Nations people in North America all used fireweed. It was a very important plant in all their lives. And the Dene people of up in Alaska, the Dene people go way back. They're another First Nation group that go way back in Alaska. That was one of their staples was fireweed. So, you know, when you got all the First Nations everywhere, practically on a huge continent or around the world, that are using these things, then they must know what they're talking about, and it must be a good thing. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking out the fireweed, and I'm starting to feel a little better today. My attitude's getting better because it's encouraging me that I'm on the right track. Curry chicken, oh my God, curry chicken! I die for curry chicken. Come on, you're killing me now, curry chicken. Yeah, I wish I could not take the pills anymore. Actually, there's a couple of different pills that I was on for a long, long time, and I stopped taking them because it seemed like either it wasn't helping or I wasn't getting the right effect. And yeah, it's a long story, but I stopped taking them. It was hard to go through a short period of time not taking them because then the complications all came back. But then, as I balanced out with food and nutrition and everything, it started to level out, and I haven't had very much of those problems. Like most of it was heartburn, indigestion, all that kind of stuff. I haven't had a lot of that since I've been off them, and I know I'm on the right track of getting rid of those pills and trying more natural stuff. Hence, I'm getting into the fireweed and great willow herb and stuff like that. So there we go. And teas are delicious. I've always loved herbal teas. You know, like regular teas are fine and dandy sometimes, but the best teas are the herbal teas. I've found some really, really tasty teas, and the more wild teas you can get and find are some of the best teas ever, the wild stuff. That's very true, Darlene. Sometimes we just have too much stinking thinking. Yep. You've got that right. But anyway, that's another thing I'm going to get into down the road with one of my videos. When I got enough information and stuff, is the fireweed and the great willow herb. I really wish I had found an abundance of the willow herb because that's the one that I was recommended by Ivan and his grandmother. Even though fireweed is a very close relative and they have similar properties and qualities, and they tend to focus on the same kind of conditions in your body. So I'm assuming they both do the same effect, but I don't know. I get really kind of focused in OCD on getting the exact right thing. So anyway, we'll see how it goes, and I'll let you know. Dandelion wine, yeah. When I was younger, I used to know a lot of people made dandelion wine. Someone was going to give me a bottle once and never got it. I don't know why, and I've still never tried it. But I'll eat dandelion leaves, flowers, every part of the plant, roots, whatever, for food and all that. But I don't drink alcohol anymore. It's really not a good thing for me. It's not a good thing for anybody, even healthy people. It destroys your body and makes you unhealthy. But for an unhealthy person, especially if you got Crohn's, ileitis, ulcerative colitis, any of those internal things, alcohol is the worst thing you can put in your body. Yes, lemon balm tea is fantastic, cat free. Yeah, and that crap grows everywhere. Whenever I find it growing in someone's yard or just out wild or everything, I just grab a bunch, throw it in a bag, and dry it out. Lemon balm is really, really tasty stuff. I haven't got any this year. Yeah, but that stuff's really good. And you can mix the lemon balm with the mint or some other kind of stuff and make up some really nice, flavorful combinations there. You tried dandelion tea and it was disgusting. I don't know who made it, but I don't know. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that dandelion is a nice tasting tea per se, but what was the other one we were talking about? We were talking lemon balm, and that lemon balm tastes good. Very lemony, very lemony. That's why I like to mix it with mint or some other thing to balance it out and create a different flavor. You're absolutely right, Euphoric. All the best stuff out there is not the pharmaceutical stuff. The best stuff out there is organic plants, medicinal plants. I mean, that's what they've been using for thousands and thousands of years. And I've been reading more and more about stuff that they've been using for thousands and thousands of years, and they don't even want you to know these days. Like cloves. Cloves are an amazing, amazing medicinal thing. They got tons of vitamin C, vitamin A, vitamin D, and they're good for to boost your memory and help your brain. So apparently they freshen your breath. I mean, the list goes on and on. I mean, that's just one product, and then there's ginger, turmeric, or even dates. Dates are fantastic, and certain dates, actually, I think it's medjool dates, are even better than all the rest of the dates. But you know, they've been doing that stuff for thousands and thousands of years before pharmaceuticals came along. So, and they were healthier than we are today. It's because they were trying to get healthy by using wild medicinal plants and not pharmaceuticals. They're trying to shove pharmaceuticals down our throats to keep us sick so they can make billions of dollars off us, you know, and not, because if we're healthy, they lose billions of dollars of revenue every day, pretty much, every day. So, yeah. So it's good to know you're on the right track and checking those things out, yeah. I can't believe we already hit over an hour already. Wow. At first it looks like it's going really slow, and then all of a sudden I look up and it's like the time just flew by. Oh. Someone was tempting me to have a smoke there a while ago, saying they were smoking up while they were watching me. So, waiting for a I will tell them that truth report, yes. Okay, I'm going to try another one. One I wrote down last night. Thought of. Busted flat in Baton Rouge, waiting for a train. When I'm feeling near as faded as my jeans, Bobby thumbed the diesel down just before it rained and rode us all the way into New Orleans. I pulled my harpoon from my dirty red bandana. I'm playing soft while Bobby sang the blues. Windshield wiper slapping time, I'm holding Bobby's hand in mine. We sang every song that driver knew. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing don't mean nothing if it ain't free. And feeling good was easy, Lord, when she sang the blues. You know, feeling good was good enough for me. Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. From the Kentucky coal mine to the California sun, there Bobby shared the secrets of my soul. Through all kinds of weather, through everything we done, yeah, Bobby baby kept me from the cold. One day up near Salinas, Lord, I let her slip away. She's looking for that home and I hope she finds it. But I'd trade all my tomorrows for one single yesterday to be holding Bobby's body next to mine. Freedom's just another word for nothing left to lose. Nothing And that's all that Bobby left me, yeah. But feeling good was easy, Lord, when she sang the blues. That feeling good was good enough for me, yeah. Good enough for me and my Bobby McGee. La 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 la. It goes on from there. That was the main part of it. Hope you enjoyed that one. You were feeling all right before when you were smoking up. Just bugging you. Just bugging you. Yeah, I love that song too. It was actually, took me a long time to get the tune in my head. I wasn't getting it. I wasn't getting it. Except most of the songs I look at, the chorus is easy because they just have that right tune and melody and everything. But it's the inner parts of the songs that are harder because you gotta know the tune to make it sound good. So it sounds like everybody liked that one. I don't remember, I can't even remember what else I have now. So still, no one came up with the song that I sang earlier. Chanson pour les petits enfants. No one came up with the artist. Nobody. Come on, you guys. I bet you John and Carl and Christina and I can't remember the other names now. Oh, for the life of me, my short-term memory is screwed. But I bet you one of those might know the song. Yeah, here's one that I was hoping, I was hoping one of the, I can't remember who it was, John or Carl or somebody. Oh, you blow me away, you fork. You blow me away. Says I'm eating can of butter with my popcorn. You know, that's one thing I never thought of putting my can of butter on was popcorn. I don't know why. You know, it seems to make sense. Let's make some popcorn, but put can of butter on it. Oh, you're a chronic from the old days, aren't you? Like I used to be. Of course your short-term memory's gone. You're high all the time. That's not why my short-term memory's gone. It's my age and my medical condition. Like Crohn's and all that inner stuff can really have an effect on your brain. I saw this guy on TV once, way back when I was still watching TV. And he was a really good doctor. And his whole thing, his thesis or whatever you want to call it, was get your gut right and your brain will follow. In other words, all your brain's problems with memory loss and all that kind of stuff, any of those things, dementia, all those kind of things that affect your brain, start with your gut. If your gut is out of balance, it's going to affect the rest of your body and especially your brain. So I thought that was really cool. And but that's why with me it's my age partly, but a lot of it's my medical condition. But I practice a lot of things like memory games and stuff like that and keep it going, because the only way to keep your memory and keep it working and functioning and your brain functioning in general is to exercise it. Your brain is a muscle and it needs to be exercised like all your muscles so they can grow and build and stay strong and actually function the way they're supposed to be. So that's just a little, yeah, Darlene, Granny is funny, isn't she? Oh, I was feeling like crap earlier. Now I just feel great and I don't even need drugs. You guys make me laugh. Yeah, I used to be a hippie too, euphoric. I used to be a hippie too. But anyway, I was going to try this song here, but since those other people aren't here, because one of them was the ones that mentioned it, and I'm not sure that I can pull it off. So there we go. Let's see what else is here. Well, that's almost it. Now I have to go and write down some more. I actually have some more, but I'm not going to do them. This one here, one I wanted to do a long time ago around the campfire, way back when, a year ago or more. And I'm going to keep that one for that one. This one here, it's an old song, came out a long time ago. It's a woman singing it, but I changed the whole thing for the men's version of the same song. And I've never ever done it. And I'm going to do it for you guys one day. So that will be coming. So those two are coming up in the future, but not right now. And it looks like, except for this one here, I'm kind of tapped out at the moment. And that one that I'm going to do. I kind of love our community too there, youth work. Right, Darlene? Oh, right. I did it my way. Yeah, yeah. I've got that written down. I keep trying and I get most of it, but there's parts of it that I can't get the tune, and it just sounds like I'm talking, babbling through it just to get through that part and then onto the... I'm still working on that one. I mean, I could probably do it for you, but if I'm going to do it, I always like to make sure that I can do it at least to my satisfaction, so I don't feel self-conscious or embarrassed or anything like that. You know, I probably shouldn't have to. According to you guys, I don't have to, but yeah, I'm not quite ready for that one, but I am working on it, and more laughter, more laughter. Oh my God, oh my God. Euphoric is 61 years older now, but her mind doesn't know what age she is. That's what happens when everyone gets old. So, what does everyone think of the view? Is it any different from before when it was a narrow view like this? And I got now the panoramic one. No one's mentioned it. Lawrence Welk, holy crap. That is a name I haven't heard in eons. Wow. I was just little and he had already been out for a long period of time. Wow. Lawrence Welk, yeah, I used to watch him all the time. Lawrence Welk and his orchestra, right? Yeah, yeah, wow, that's a memory I haven't thought of in a very long time. Wow, crazy. Sing you some good old rock and roll songs, eh? I don't know about that today, but we'll see. We'll see. So nobody, eh? I'm going to just do the chorus again. See if nobody showed up since then, I guess so. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Come on, come on, come on, you guys. Don't make me tell you who it is. Don't make me tell you. Very famous guy. Yeah, I used to love Lawrence Welk when I was a kid. Wow, now I'm hard pressed to think of all the other shows I used to watch when I was a kid. Like that I can't remember the names of and stuff. Lawrence Welk, holy crap. I haven't even thought of Lawrence Welk probably in 50 years, I don't know. Get the bubbles out? What's that mean? I mean, get a thing to blow bubbles? Get the bubbles out. Or you mean the babies? I don't know. Not sure. Oh, bubbles. Is that from the Lawrence Welk show? Yeah, somebody out there had a show where he played music. It blew bubbles. I can't remember. Yes, that's definitely French, Euphoric. It's definitely French. But it was done by an American. Most of the song is in English except for the chorus that I just sang. Every time I turn around, Euphoric is making me laugh. The bong's going. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Now young Mr. Moon flew away in the night with his friend Magnus right by his side. They soared through the Milky Way counting the stars, once around Venus, twice around Mars. Then they spied an island rise out of the sea. They fell back to earth just as free as you please. The children all gathered, the church bells did ring. Suddenly everyone started to sing. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Chanson pour les petits enfants, chanson pour tout le monde. Nobody's getting it. I don't think anyone here today is getting it, and nobody else has showed up yet. Oh, that was the other one. Unedited, Billy T. That was another person. Hee-haw. Holy crap, I was addicted to hee-haw. Hee-haw and laughing. They're both hilarious. They're practically the only funny shit out there that back then. Hee Haw. I used to love Hee Haw, yeah. That's right. Lawrence Welk did have the bubble machine. Yeah, I knew somebody out there. I was actually down in, not Birch Bay, Blaine, Washington. And there's a place on the side over by the ocean there near the beach. And they had this little store of knickknacks and oddities and stuff like that. And outside, they had this automatic bubble machine that just, the fan kept blowing and the thing kept sucking up the bubble water into the thing. And the fan kept just continuous bubbles. And apparently, that was either the bubble machine that Lawrence Welk had on his show or an exact replica. But it was amazing just to watch this because I was looking at that and I was in my 40s. And I still remember as a kid watching that on Lawrence Welk. That is so crazy. Man, the memories, I had forgotten all about this. Yeah, that's another one actually. It was late last night and I was tired and I was gonna go online and get the lyrics and write it down, but I didn't. Sing Hallelujah. I'm thinking the one by the famous Canadian, Leonard Cohen. That Hallelujah. That's the one I'm thinking of. I don't know about you, but that's the one I'm thinking of. Tony, Orlando, and Dawn. Wow, I haven't heard of them, those names in a very long time too. I'll look into that for sure. But Hallelujah, I was just too tired and too late. And every time I want to sit down and write down the music, the lyrics for songs and that, I get rudely interrupted by a bunch of different people. It's always at that time, and I only get a couple of them down instead of a whole book full. But yeah, I am going to work on that one. Oh, my guts. There's actually two versions I've heard of that. One by the Leonard Cohen that I mentioned, and there's another by this girl and her daughter. They sang the exact same song, but they changed the words, and it was all about Jesus and God and all that. It's interesting, very interesting. It sounded good. Sing. Shut up and sing, she said. Shut up and sing. She didn't say shut up. She just said sing. I would never attempt to put words in people's mouths. Never mind, I'll find someone like you. I wish nothing but the best for you too. Don't forget me, I beg. I remember you said, sometimes it lasts in love, but sometimes it hurts instead. Yeah. I'm sure you know that one. I've been working on that one for a very long time. Okay, here we go. We're getting actually to the overtime. I don't know if you heard my dogs barking there a minute ago. Somebody just pulled up to do Wi-Fi over there, and I guess my dog's got a bark at them. And even though they can see me, they can see straight through the trees there and look at me while I'm doing this. So they don't feel as left out as when they're in the tiny house over there. But even though they can see me and they know what's going on, I haven't run off away from them. They still get a little what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. Anyway, they can't wait till I come back, even though they can see me. So yeah, it's about an hour and a half already. Crazy. Okay. Here's one I bet you didn't know I knew. Only because it's not in English. It's not in English. But I bet you didn't know. It's a very famous song though. Yes, they are missing me. They are missing me. That's one of the words I could have used. Missing me, yeah. And antsy. There's another good word. But yeah, you said yes and thank you about looking into doing the Hallelujah. I definitely will. I love Leonard Cohen. I just love him. I was I don't know about very young, but I was pre-teenager when he first started out, pretty much, I guess, or when I first started hearing him, I guess, getting interested. But yeah, he's always been a hero of mine musically, and the fact that he's a Canadian just is awesome. Same with Gordon Lightfoot, Anne Murray, all the great Canadians. Oh, my innards are still. It's almost time for another pill. Oh, this coat is actually really warm for a relatively thin jacket. It's still cloudy, but I'm feeling warmer a little more comfortable. Still a lot of pain on my body and in my guts and that. So. Okay, let me try this one out. All right, all right, all right. Para bailar la bamba, se necesita una poca de gracia pa mi parti, ay arriba, y arriba, arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré. Yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, 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 bamba. Para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia pa mi parti, ay arriba, arriba. Para bailar la bamba se necesita una poca de gracia pa mi parti, ay arriba, arriba. Y arriba, arriba, por ti seré, por ti seré, por ti seré. Bamba, 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 bamba. That's the best it gets for me. That one I actually knew quite a few months back because I was actually learning Spanish at the time. I still am, but I just kind of dropped off a bit. And my Spanish is dropping off too, but so because I was learning Spanish, I decided to learn how to sing that song and how to pronounce the words and everything. Yo no soy marinero, yo no soy marinero, soy capitán, soy capitán, soy capitán. Bamba, bamba. Yeah. You noticed me like moving around and shifting and stuff like that, didn't you, Darlene? Yeah. I need a cushion to sit on. Yes, you're very right. I need a cushion because my butt hurts. Oh, hey, Gloria. How you doing, Gloria? You made it. Yeah, you missed all the good stuff. That's a happy song, you mean? Darlene, yes. I'm not sure exactly what you're meaning there, Euphoric. Tom Jules signs that the song right on your Spanish is good. I'm not sure who Tom Jules is, but yeah, thanks. My Spanish is good. Yeah, not too bad. I'm actually pretty impressed with my own Spanish, even though I don't know a lot. I can't fully converse yet with anyone in Spanish, but what I do know, I can pronounce it right. That's very important to me, is pronunciation when I do any language. And I'm learning Welsh right now. Damn, that's one of the hardest things to learn. It's really intricate and complicated, and it changes like almost for no reason. I got to figure out the whole language before I figure out why they did it that way. It's crazy, but it is actually the oldest language still spoken today on this planet. It's Welsh is the sister language to ancient Hebrew, which was only spoken up to about 700 BC or something like that. Because once the Jews were captured by the Babylonians, they interbred with the Babylonians, came out with a big nose, and the language had changed. And in I think it's 735 BC, somewhere around there, I could get my dates wrong, Ezra was complaining that after the Jews were returned from the Babylonians, he couldn't understand a word they were saying because the Hebrew had all changed. So Welsh is sister language to ancient Hebrew, and it is the oldest language still living and being spoken today on this planet. I think Sanskrit is the oldest language, but it's not necessarily being spoken regularly as a huge country of people or whatever. It's only spoken in small areas. Yeah, good. Okay, Gloria, you can watch the replays. Yeah, because I did a few songs there, so you might want to watch it. I don't know. I can't toot my own horn, but everyone else says it was good. And Euphoric Granny says, hello, Gloria. Tom Jewell sings La Bamba. Is that what you're saying? Tom Jewell sings La Bamba. I'm going to look that up because it's actually done by Richie Valens. I don't know who wrote it, but he did a really, really great version of it. Oh, you're bilingual. Which two languages? Euphoric. Obviously, one's English. I'm thinking the other one is French, isn't it? Or is it Spanish? Because you seem to understand the French. You understand Hebrew. Oh, modern Hebrew, obviously. Yahweh, Yeshua. Yeah. Yeshua Mashiach. Yeshua Mashiach. Yeshua is actually what it is. Yeshua. The Hebrew say Yeshua when it's actually Yeshua, because it comes from the Aramaic, and Aramaic predates ancient Hebrew. Ancient Hebrew came from Aramaic, and Jesus, his mother, his father, all his family, they came from Nineveh. I think that's how you say it, Nineveh, which is an Aramaic country, Arabic speaking place, and his mother spoke Aramaic to him. It was their preferred language, was Aramaic. But that's Yeshua, or Yeshua, same difference really. I just don't really care for the Roman Greco translation of Jesus. I mean, sure, it's a, you know, everyone loves Jesus, you know, good name and all that, but when you look at the history, it's a really terrible translation of Yeshua or Yeshua. Is Jesus. But anyway, that's another story in itself. Yes, Hebrew for Jesus Christ is actually Yeshua Mashiach. Mashiach is Messiah or Savior. Oh, you're trilingual then. English, Spanish, and French. You're trilingual, not bilingual. Come on, quit smoking the pot and wake up. I'm sorry, I'm just fooling with you. I'm fooling with you. That's great though. That's basically, I always wanted to be a polyglot, and I'm working on it. Except I don't know enough. Like, you know, I know English obviously. I know a tiny bit of French. I never could learn it in school. It was just too challenging because you go outside and everyone's speaking English. So a very tiny bit of English. I know way more Spanish than I know French. And I've also, a long, long time ago, when there was a friend was staying over in Burnaby where I lived, he was teaching me Korean, South Korean, and I was doing really good then, and then his dad got sick and he had to go back home, so that dropped off. And now I'm working on Welsh as well, so, you know, it's going to take time, but hopefully if I get enough time in there, I'll become a polyglot like I want to be. But in my mind, to be a polyglot, you have to be fluent in each language, not just a little of this and a little of that. Apparently, I don't know. Maybe I'm being too critical. I do understand. Well, now you're almost contradicting yourself there, Euphoric. You're spiritual because you don't believe everything that comes through the Bible. Yeah. Well, that's a moot point in itself. That's a big book. Big book. Did you know it was never a Holy Bible? It was only became a Holy Bible in, I think it was 314 AD, when they had the Council of Nicaea and they decided which books were actually part of the Bible. Before, up until that point, it was just biblos, just meant book. And in the time of Jesus and for the first 2,000-3,000 years before Jesus, it was just called biblos, book, or the book. And then it was the Council of Nicaea that created the Holy Book, because they wanted the holy aspect of God and only keep those books, and that's why they threw out the Book of Enoch and all the other Apocrypha and everything like that. But yeah, actually, I'm not really going to get into it, but you can believe pretty much everything that's in the whole book, Old Testament and New, taken in the right context, and then clearing up a lot of the corrections that need correcting, like angel. No such thing as angels. It's malak. It means messenger. It doesn't say anything about angel. It says messenger, God's messenger. The Greeks who translated it from Hebrew into Greek took the word malak, or whatever it is, that means messenger, and they said it's angel, but they already had the concept of angels in their head about human-like figures with wings on their back flying around, which didn't exist. That was an imagination. And then they applied that to the ancient Hebrew word malek, or I got to look that up again. I can't pronounce it right, but which actually just means messenger. So there's no such thing as angels in that concept of angels that was created by the Greeks and the Romans. Anything to do with angels in the biblical sense is a messenger of God, but not a human being flying around with wings on their back. They're a messenger, but they don't look like that. Anyway, long story. Ever since I was a teenager, by the time I was 16, I had to know everything. And one of the places to start to know everything is our historical records, and that starts with biblical stuff and then everything before that as well. Anyway, long story. I'm going to bore you right now. Yeah, keys of Enoch are missing, yes. The book of Enoch is not missing, it's out there. And the Ethiopian Jews are some of the most religious adherents to the original Old Testament, all that kind of stuff, blah, 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 blah. And they actually have the book of Enoch in their Bible, so they didn't pull it out like Constantine did at the Council of Nicaea. He didn't pull it out, he pulled it out and threw it away. But the Ethiopians have almost most of the books in their Bible that originally were before that council. So they have the book of Enoch in their Bible. So, and there's a reason for that. But the book of Enoch is a crazy, crazy book. Very crazy book. I mean, I think it scared the crap out of the people back then who had their thoughts and beliefs of what religion and everything was about back then. And hearing all that about aliens and all these things going on and everything that's in the book of Enoch, I think it scared them. And so they said, no, this has got to go. This doesn't show the holiness of God. It's talking about demonic things and that, which it wasn't. Anyway, long story. Oh boy, I think Euphoric and I are just having a long conversation here. I did everyone take off and go away? No, there's still that group of people there. So there you go. Too much hypocrisy. It's not so much hypocrisy, it's partly mistranslation. Not so much translation, it's conceptual translation. Like when I was mentioning the angel thing, like it's a concept the Greeks and Romans had of angels that we have today about human-like figures with wings on their back. That was a concept, an idea, it was an imagination. And it was taken, sadly, from the ancient Hebrew word that's just means messenger. It doesn't mean angel at all, it means messenger. You can say it's an angel of God, a messenger of God. You can say that, but it doesn't mean it's a human-like person with wings on their back. Never happened. That's an imaginational concept. Oh boy, I'm getting way off it. Oh, I see. Corey said, just listening. Yeah, it seems like Euphoric and I were having a conversation. Everyone was just listening and learning, apparently. Yeah, that's mainly why they took it out. Took the book of Enoch out way back when, because of the alien stuff. They couldn't handle that concept. They just couldn't handle it. That wasn't in their concept of God and their reality of God and religion and all that stuff. They just couldn't handle that because at that point, see, way back in the ancient times, they knew there was aliens. They knew it. They watched them come and go. Jacob's ladder is a perfect example of that. He said he didn't say angels. They translated as angels. He said that he watched the Malak or whatever, Malakim. That's it, Malakim. He watched the Malakim going up and down on the ladder to the heavenly domain that was up there, and they were messengers coming back and forth, Malakim, and never said angels at all. And that's a perfect example of aliens in the Old Testament, which was also in the book of Enoch. Anyway, I'm getting way off the topic I ever was thinking of going to talk about to anyone, because when I used to bring this up years ago, when I was in my 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, people would walk away from me and go away and they'd tell, you're fucking crazy, you're a crazy man, I can't believe a piece of garbage comes out of your mouth and everything. It's like, I'm sorry, but it's the truth. It's the truth. If you research and study and learn, you'll see the truth of everything. The truth always prevails. It's the one constant in the universe that will always prevail, is truth. The truth can never be hidden. I mean, it can be hidden for it could take thousands of years, but the truth will always reveal itself in the end. Just look at the moon. The moon has been thought to be many things, right? a big ball of green cheese or something. Some people say it's hollow. Some people just say it's rock and dirt and that. But in the end, when we finally know and discover exactly what the moon is completely made out, inside and out, then we'll know the truth, and the truth will be revealed, and then everyone will know, and there won't be all these ideas about what the moon is. So the truth always comes out, always comes out. I'm not sure what you're saying, Darlene, but with the churches, there's a lot of mistranslations through the churches and that because of people's thinking at the time, you know. I mean, look at the Dark Ages, the things they thought about. You know, it's crazy. They still thought about God and all that kind of stuff, but they thought of crazy, crazy things. Fallen ones, yeah, it's been brought back. Fallen ones, yes. Yeah, it's been brought back, and I think every book that's been taken out of them. And then there's tons of books that are referenced in the Old Testament that they were lost thousands and thousands of years ago, like the Book of Yahweh, the Book of Adam, the War Scrolls. There's so many books that didn't even get a chance to be taken out of the Council of Nicaea because they were gone long before that. They were just lost in history, not on purpose. They were just lost in history sometimes. But there's a Book of Yahweh out there written by Yahweh. You know, there's a book of it's not called the Book of Mary. It's called something else. Something about it's a book of Mary, by Mary anyway. There's so many books that are missing, so many books, and some of it is just the sad part of they got lost in history. Hey, John, you finally made it. You finally made it, John. Hello, hello. I was actually looking for you a while ago because I was singing my songs, and I can't remember if it was you or Carl or who it was that wanted me to try certain songs, and I'm not sure if those were the ones I tried, but I also got another one here that I'm not sure if you mentioned it or not, but anyway, you're going to have to go watch the replay and see if I touched on any of the songs you were interested in hearing me sing. So if you don't mind, sometime when you got free time, go back and re-watch this. Because we took a whole different detour on this live here today. We went from just having fun and laughing and joking and singing songs and stuff into real intense conversation here. Yes, Anna, there was a lot of child abuse through the churches and stuff. Yeah, but that's not the fault of the Bible and the books and God and Jesus and all that. That's the fault of the people running the churches who are just, you know, they can't control their selves, right? They want to preach the good word and that and tell everyone else what to do, but they can't hold it in themselves, right? And they become pedophiles or whatever. You know, that's the problem with the people, not the actual scriptures themselves. That's right, they preach one way and live another. And that's been a corrupt hypocrisy since the beginning of modern churches. Actually, on the surface, theology is very complicated, euphoric. But when you delve right into it, it's not that complicated at all. As long as you know the truth of every point along the way. Anyway, I'm not saying that I'm an expert or anything. I'm not trying to brag anything. I'm not trying to say anything. But I have been studying it for almost all my life. For the last at least 52, 53 years of my life. That's one of my favorite subjects. Was all the books, every single one of them, including the Apocrypha and all the ones that were left out, and all the Judaic books. There's a lot of Judaic books that weren't even part of the Bible, the Old Testament, but they still actually read them and study them right up to the very day today that are in the Judaic texts. And one of them, they have multiple texts on reincarnation and karma. Karma is the effect of reincarnation, and the Judaic books, long before Jesus showed up, they were in the Old Testament or parts of the Old Testament books or the Judaic books that they were studying back then, and they still have them today. They're just not mainstream. And if you really look into it and study hard and look at what everything that Jesus actually said, all the red letters and stuff apparently that he said, most of that is about reincarnation and karma. It's not about being passive. It's not about that. He was never about being passive. He was about correcting your karmic debt on the planet here through your lifetimes, through reincarnation. And he studied all that from the ancient. When he was 12, he looked at all the books, read them all, and he said, yes, I agree totally. That he knew, yes, these are all correct. So he knew all the books, including the Apocrypha, including the Book of Enoch, all those books before they were taken out. So he knew them all, and he kept speaking. One of his main things was about reincarnation and the karmic effects thereof. And that way you have to destroy the karmic effects of your reincarnating lives through the grace of God. And the only way to do that is if someone slaps you on one cheek, turn them to the other cheek, so that now they don't owe you anything. You don't owe them anything anymore. It wasn't about being passive at all. It was about you don't owe them anything more. Your karmic debt was destroyed through the grace of God. And now you can move on and have a better life, and your next life will be even better because of that. I could go on and on and on about that, but I'm glad people are having fun anyway. That is exactly right. I saw that very young. John says, God and devil are each one letter away from good and evil. There's not a lot of coincidences in life, including that. And another one is the story, I don't know if anyone knows this in the New Testament, the story of the talents. Oops, I just lost it for a second there. I was buffering. Where the landowner is taken off for a trip, and he gives 10 talents to one of his servants, 5 talents to another servant, and 1 talent to another servant. And then they all do different things. One of them invests, one does this, and the guy with 1 talent buries it in the ground and blah, blah, blah. Long story about that. But if you understand the message of that thing, even though it was written a couple of thousand years ago, or almost a couple of thousand years ago, using the word talent, which is a coin, their coin was a talent. It's also a play on words, a talent, the talents you have inherently inside yourself. So it's referring to the money as a monetary thing and what to do with your money. It's also referring to your talents inside yourself, and you have to develop your talents. You don't just let your talents go stagnant and ignore them. You have to, and nothing happens by coincidence. And the fact that they used the word talent that represented money and also your talents, the things that are inside you, is no coincidence. And I find that funny that, a couple of thousand years later, that word talent, it is an English word. You know what I mean? Wow. Euphoric says, your husband passed away 10 years ago, and your mother's name is Karma? Karma, that's an interesting name. I've heard of Carmen and something to that variation. Never heard of anyone called Karma. That's a cool name. Funny joke I saw once painted on the side of the building in downtown Vancouver when I was like in my mid to late 20s, something like that. Someone painted on the wall, it said, my karma ran over my dogma. And that is so funny when you really think about it. It's really crazy. Well, I'm glad you find it interesting, Darlene, because it's a very interesting subject. Like I said, it's my favorite subject, has been most of my life, ever since I became an early teenager. And it's a thing I think about the most. I like to try to talk about it the most, but it's hard to find people that can talk and listen on that same level, because so many people have heard all the bullshit and the hypocrisies out there, going to the modern man-made churches that are all distorted, and so they get all these stupid ideas, and that's the problem, is they don't, they're so confused. They have to study the truth themselves. Just like a lot of people, okay, at one time there was only one Christian church, and it was the church built on the concepts and around the words of Christ himself, right? And then all of a sudden there's hundreds and thousands of churches. Like there's the Lutheran church, the Baptist church, the Pentecost. They just came out of nowhere, but they all had their own little doctrines that they put in themselves that actually aren't really in the scriptures themselves. Like Baptists, okay, sure, there's baptism in the Bible, in the New Testament. But the thing is, the Baptists in their churches, the Baptist churches, they pray that you'll never get into heaven unless you're baptized, which is bullshit. It doesn't say that in there, and I can prove it if I had time. But the Pentecost, They're the ones that are holy rollers, you know. They speak in tongues and they roll around on the floor. And if you go into the church and you're not doing that, you're ostracized. They don't want you in there. It's just, it's crazy. Like another one, I can't remember who it was, Presbyterian or Lutheran, I can't remember, but some person I knew who's going to be a minister. They said, oh, I'm being a minister, I'm training to be a minister through my minister of the church. And they said, but they've never ever read the Bible at all. And I go, you can't be a minister if you've never read the books. It's not possible. Anyway, one of their ideas in their church was, they said, when you die, if at least 12 people don't pray over your body right after you're dead, you'll never get into heaven. Bullshit. That's not even in the books anywhere. It doesn't say anything like that. So, but they're promoting this through their churches. So it's all a matter of changing things from the original. You know, they should have stick with the original words and stick by them and only them, and quit making up stuff. You know, that's what's wrong with everything. I mean, King Henry VIII. There was basically there was Christian churches at the time and the Roman Catholic churches. But through all of the churches of any kind back then, you weren't allowed to divorce. So he created a new church, the which one is that? Not the Unitarian. Oh man, it's slipping me right now. I should know it like the back of my hand. Anyway, he created the new church, so he was allowed to divorce his wives instead of just cutting their heads off, right? It's, you know, they create a new Christian church to suit their own values and create their own doctrines in there for their own purposes, which didn't exist in the beginning. I mean, if you really look at it and you stick with the originals, you're not allowed to divorce no matter what. So, you know, but that's a moot point in itself, because I don't know. I could explain it, but we don't have enough time. Well, thanks, Cat Free. I don't get that kind of compliment and can't think of the words. Very often, I don't. They say I could listen to you talk about it for hours. It's fascinating. It's one of the most fascinating subjects there is, and it's my favorite subject. And not a lot of people tell me that they could listen to me for hours on anything, especially that, and saying it's fascinating. The fact that you think it's fascinating, you listen to it, is great, because you're learning something, and you probably already learned on your own previously about the hypocrisy and the real, and so you're trying to find your way. So that's great. That's great. That's very true, Darlene. And I'm not going to get into this subject. It's another one of my favorite subjects. But out of all the so-called, well, I shouldn't say so-called Christian churches, but out of all the Christian churches, the Roman Catholic Church, the original Catholic Church, the Roman Catholic Church, is one of the worst ones ever. They created their own stuff. Like they were one of the worst at creating their own stuff. I mean, right away, as soon as Constantine had a battle against the Romans at the Tigris River, I think it was, he won the battle, he marched into Rome, and all the citizens bowed down and hailed him as the new emperor of Rome. And then he said, from now on, Rome, you're going to be a Christian nation and not a pagan nation like you have been for thousands of years and all that. So as soon as they became a Christian nation, what did? First, they created the Pope. That was forbidden by Jesus himself. You know, you have a bishop as a representative of Jesus on earth, but the popes are supposed to be a direct representative of God on earth, and it can't happen. Jesus is that representative. So first of all, the Pope was one of the biggest mistakes he could have made, and it's a blasphemy to God to even bring that up. They have the Holy Mass, the deification of Mary. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It's crazy. They made the most mess of a Christian. I mean, I'm not sure if it's them or Opus Dei. I can't remember if it's Opus Dei or the Roman Catholic Church that came up with the what do they call that? It's where you take the leather whip with the little metal ends and you whip yourself like this. What do they call that? That's there's a name for that. Anyway, one of those guys, I'm pretty sure it was the Catholic Church came up with that, and that is nowhere ever mentioned in the Bible books anywhere, especially not by Jesus and that. So anyway, wow, man, I could definitely go on and on and on. I don't know how this came up, but somebody hit my little button there and turned on this this waterfall of stuff. But my favorite subject, and I could go on about it. And if I had the chance, I could actually re-educate everyone into what the truth of religion is, the truth of the books of the Bible, all of them, and the truth of what Jesus actually said, and the truth about all the distorted churches that came after the first actual Christian church was in the UK, when Joseph of Arimathea and a group of 11, long story short, they ended up in the UK because that goes back to the time of Abraham. Anyway, they ended up in there, and that's when they built the first Christian church above ground, to honor Jesus. And that was done by Joseph of Arimathea, who was Jesus's favorite uncle. And Joseph of Arimathea was in charge of all the tin mines in Cornwall. And anyway, but before that, in the Middle East and that, any Christian church at that time, back then, had to be underground and secret, because the Romans or someone come along and kill them all and everything like that. So when Jerusalem was destroyed and they dispersed all the Jews and blah 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 blah, and Joseph of Arimathea and his group went over into the UK, into Wales, into Glastonbury. That's when the first Christian church above ground was created, that they could openly speak about Jesus openly above ground and not be wiped out by the Romans or anyone else. I got to catch up on all these comments here. Well, that's an interesting poetic way of putting it. I wasn't going to say anything, but I think I'll read it. Euphoric says, your glowing face is so beautiful today with the light shining through your truths. That's so good. That's so good. Thank you very much. I'd take that as a great compliment. There you go, John. John says his parents never went to church. I've never believed in a guy who plays with us like puppets. That's the Roman Catholic Church and all those people that created bullshit out of that didn't exist. But I do believe in a higher power. Yeah, and that higher power is God, the true God, not this garbage that all these modern day churches are spewing out, right? But believing in a higher power, you've got the biggest part of the battle right there. You believe in a higher power. That's basically the number one seed you need, and you can grow from that. But yeah, the bullshit we were told about, some guy sitting up on a cloud or that playing with us like puppets, and that never happened. It doesn't exist. Hey, Deb lives simply for Jesus. There you go. I have thought of that. I thought of that a long time ago, and I just don't have the time. But Deb Live says, hint, hint, start a new channel to share your knowledge. I find it very interesting. Yes, it's a very interesting subject for those that want to actually learn the truth. And I have, a long time ago when I started this one, I thought I was doing a second channel and doing that subject mainly on my channel, including a lot of other stuff. But I just don't know where I'm going to find the time, because I go out and I film a video, I put it together, I edit it and everything, and upload and all that. That's my day. And then taking care of myself and my dogs. I mean, that's my day. I've got maximum 5 hours a day that I can function without having to lie down, take a nap, or just rest my back, or do something about my pain or my guts and problem. But yeah, that may be coming, if I get the time. I don't know. Yeah, there you go, John. Treating cancer patients for free for 10 years has given your family great karma. Exactly. You need to get good karma, and you need to destroy the old karma from previous lives and that. But I mean, you're living the life that you're supposed to be living, without necessarily maybe knowing it. But and everyone living the modern churches' ideas of life are all living it wrong, because all these modern churches has screwed up the scriptures and the words and put in their own doctrines and stuff, and just made a mess of everything and come out with a lot of crazy stuff. And yeah, you're on the right track. You believe in a higher power, so you're basically spiritual right there. That's the number one seed to grow on. and you're helping people, which is one of the main messages, is to help people, not hinder them. um, Especially the children. Jesus said, don't hinder these little children, or else it's holy hell for you, kind of thing. I can't remember exactly what it says. I have to go read it again, but that's the essence of what he says, right? So you're helping, right? And that's, you know, I've known atheists, lots of atheists, and some of the best conversations I've ever had about religion, Jesus, and the whole bit, God, is with atheists. And I don't know why that is, but it's great. But you know what? Most of the atheists I met are actually living the Christian life the way it's supposed to be lived. They just do it automatically because it's a common thing to the universe and to the planet and everything. It's the way things are supposed to be. And they just live that. And they don't even know they're living the Christian life that's set out for them by Jesus and every one of the prophets before him and God himself. You know, they just don't realize it. They're atheists. They don't believe in God, but, you know, they're living that life. And that just, I don't know, I just find that so fascinating and mind-blowing and wonderful. You know, because they're the first ones to go out and help the poor, the downtrodden. You know, if someone needs clothes, they go and find it for them. You know, all that stuff. And they're atheists, but they're living the Christian life, the spiritual life, you know. I'm losing. Yeah, so Euphoric says, the Romans tore down the entire realm and destroyed it all, and they took it all out, and rebuilt Rome castle-type buildings, churches on top of the real chapels originally built by the tribes. Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Go and read that for yourself, guys. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's exactly what happened. The Romans destroyed a lot of things. Yeah, so John says, every time we cure a person that doctors call terminal, it is the greatest feeling ever. Yes, of course. It's the same with, I was mentioning earlier about this herb that I've been working with. There's fireweed and then there's great willow herb. Great willow herb was the one that my friend Ivan, his grandmother, the doctors would have patients with stage 5 prostate cancer, and he'd say, go home and die. We can't do anything more for you. She would take them aside, give them this herbal tea every day for a certain period of time, and completely cure them of prostate cancer right to normal health again, when the doctors had given up, you know. So, you know, she's kind of doing the same thing too, helping people, whether she's religious or spiritual or not. Anyway, now they're going by too fast. Yeah, you know what? The early churches, I didn't go to a Roman Catholic church. I knew right away there was something wrong with them, but the early churches did put the fear of the devil in me, and I was afraid when I was young and little too. But you know what? I grew out of that because I studied and found out the truth myself, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, the devil's out there. I'm not going to go into the concept of that, but the devil's out there, and there's a purpose for the devil, Satan, whatever. And yeah, but when you're young, the early church will really mess you up with all these fearful things, and it's sad, because it's not what it's there for. Oh, damn, your comment went by, John. I was going to see what you said about helping patients. Damn, I was going to comment on it, but I missed it. Sorry. Yeah, it's exactly what you say, euphoric. Organic lifestyle choices work best without any chemicals, and that's exactly how they did things back in the day, even in the time of Jesus and long before that. You know, they used natural plants and everything to heal everybody. They did it in all through India. India is the oldest civilization on earth, but that's what they did. They worked with plants and everything. They worked with the earth and healed people with the earth, not with chemicals and drugs and all this garbage they manufactured, right? Synthetics and stuff like that. I know. There's another problem with the Roman Catholic Church. Confession. No such thing in the Christian church. None whatsoever. Jesus forbade that. There's no such thing as confessional. Nothing. That's a complete manufacturing from the Roman Catholic Church originally. And God doesn't say anything about confessing anything. I'm a healer. Apparently I'm a healer. Euphoric says, you're a healer, my friend. Well, I could be a healer if anyone that wants to listen, I could help heal their spiritual mind. Oh, thanks, Deb Lives. She said, I truly enjoy watching you and your babies every day. True life and insights. Yeah, we just live a normal, true life kind of thing. We do what we're supposed to be doing. Cat Free says, I never understood why we needed a middleman to talk to God. Well, you don't really need a middleman, but I mean, I'm not sure exactly precisely what you're referring to, but the middleman would be Jesus, because no one gets to the Father in heaven except through Jesus. He said that himself. And that's why the position of the Pope is such an abomination to God, is because they're actually trying to be a representative of God on earth when they're supposed to be a representative of Jesus on earth, who will represent them to God for us. You see what I mean? Yeah, Henry VIII created the, what church is that? Oh, damn. It should be right there. I mean, I've known it all my life, but yeah, Henry VIII. Hey, Sandra Beasley, glad you could show up. Sorry about that. Henry VIII created that other church so he could divorce his wives, because in any other church, Christian or Catholic or whatever at that time, you weren't allowed to divorce. And so he created, I can't believe it's eluding me so much. Anyway, he created that church just so he could create his own doctrines and get away with divorcing his wives instead of just cutting their heads off, kind of thing. I'm glad the comments are helping you, Darlene. Yeah. When people learn the truth, it sets them free. Believe me, the truth will set you free, whether it's your truth or somebody else's truth, but just the real truth of anything. Hey, NH Bent Needle, glad you could make it. Yeah, I know I've been on 2 hours. That's crazy, eh? That's because someone or somehow this subject came up, and I was actually going to leave and quit. And the only reason I didn't was, for one, the subject came up, and also my dogs are right there. I can see them, they can see me, so it's not a big deal. So I don't mind spending a little extra time here. And this is a fantastic subject. It's my favorite subject. No, we don't need a priest to talk to God. That's absolutely right. In the Catholic Church, you got to come see the priest, and you got to go confessional, and you got to do this, and you got the rosary. No such thing as a rosary thing. That's just garbage. That's the Roman Catholic Church again. Rosary. You don't do your holy Hail Marys and stuff. You didn't see Jesus doing that. You never read about Jesus doing that. But you don't need a priest. You can talk to God directly, or talk to him through Yeshua, because that's what's going to happen anyway. You talk to God, it's going through Yeshua, whether you like it or not. But actually, the Church of England, the very first Church of England, Night Owl, was a true Christian church based on just the words of Jesus himself. You can look that up if you want. I've researched it inside out, and it's a true one, because that's what it was based on. But as they progressed and they started changing, there was a Baptist church and this church and Lutheran and all that. That's when all the doctrines got changed and people added stuff and stuff. But the very first Christian church above ground, where they didn't have to hide underground, was in the UK. It was the Church of England. There's another part of this thing. Catholic. The Romans stole the word Catholic, because the original Christian Church of Great Britain at the time, right after the death, like within 3 years or 4 years of the death of Jesus, Joseph created the first Christian church above ground. And damn, I lost my train of thought here. What was I talking about? Damn it. I hate when that happens. I hate when... Oh yeah, Catholic. So anyway, it was actually called the British Catholic. Catholic only means universal. Universal for everyone. That's what the word Catholic means. So they took this word, the Roman Catholics took this word Catholic, which means universal, called it the Roman Catholic Church. It meant the Roman Universal Church. But they ended up distorting the word Catholic into Catholicism with all these doctrines that never existed before, which were created by the Roman Catholic Church. That's how crazy and silly this whole thing gets distorted and happens. Is they distorted the actual word Catholic, which just means universal, and it used in its original form, the way it's supposed to be, by the British Catholic Church of England. It meant the British Universal Church for everyone of England. You know, everyone was welcome. that happened last time. Same place right out front here. Same vehicle, same place. There's a lot of people like that in the neighborhood with hot cars and motorbikes and everything. But I got a feeling that's the same person that was last week. And they don't like me doing my lives or something and they want to disrupt them. Anyway, I don't know if that's true or not. It doesn't matter. It is unnecessary. You're gonna make the best of it, are you, you fork? 2 hours later, you got hooked on the live stream, yeah. We took out power and it was restored. Oh, I see. That's why you're late, NH Needle. Someone took out the power and it was stored, but in the meantime, they went for a walk and came back and the power was on, so now they're watching me live. Oh, okay. Oh, that's what you meant, so unnecessary. Oh, okay. Gloria Stanley says, senior moment. Yeah, I have a lot of senior moments. Yeah, I don't even understand the process myself. I've never done it and I never will. Because I know I don't, it's not valid and I don't need to do that. Anyway, Darlene says, I remember going to confession as a child, telling this man who I couldn't see and didn't know all my sins, and I was terrified and almost peed herself. That's the way of certain so-called Christian churches, but it's the Roman Catholic Church, are putting the fear of God into you, that you're supposed to be afraid of everything. God doesn't want you to be afraid. He wants you to understand and know and be loving and happy in that. He never wanted you to be afraid. And that's one of the worst things that the Roman Catholic Church has done, is put the fear of God into everybody, or just fear of some sort into everyone. Yeah, it's so totally unnecessary. And the fact that, you know, you're in this booth and this person is in there, the priest, he knows who you are, he knows what you look like, he sees you coming and going in church, and you're telling him all these things that you would never tell anyone else on earth. And you're telling this person who now has details on you that they shouldn't have. You know what I mean? I would never tell someone like that my deepest secrets. I'd tell God and God, or Yeshua, and only God and Yeshua. Wow. That's the reason I left the modern man-made churches too, cat-free. I left the churches because they're all wrong. They're just, and when I tried to talk to them, they all thought I was nuts and crazy. And they actually ostracized me from some of the churches. But I was telling the truth, and they don't understand what the truth is, because they don't read the book. They listen to this guy up in the pulpit spewing out stuff with his own doctrines and stuff that he learned along the way, misinformation and stuff, and then everything gets distorted. And people should read the book themselves, study it and understand it, so they know, at least got a good inkling of what really is going on. And don't, yeah, I could go on and on. And Darlene Cat-Free says, in a dark little creepy box too, Darlene. Yeah, I mean, what the hell was that about? It's like, you might as well be in a dungeon talking to this guy that you don't even know. Tell him all your deep, dark secrets. So you left all religions, Darlene, but just don't leave the important one, the one between you and Yeshua and God. It's the only one that's important. You talk to Yeshua and God, or just talk to God, you know, either way, it's up to you, but that's all you need. You don't need all this other crazy crap. You don't need to go to, even Jesus said, church is not in a building. Church is about him. He is church. The bridesmaid is the church is his bridesmaid, right? And he said himself that church is everywhere, outdoors. He always promoted outdoors in the wilderness. He never said go into this little building and, you know, that was a modern man-made concept of what a church is. But yeah, that's why I left them too, because, you know, I don't know, they're teaching, and you know, the sad part is a lot of them don't realize they're teaching falsities. They think they're doing good, and that's fine, you know, if it makes them feel good, but they should wake up and realize they're teaching falsities that they learned from somebody else, probably, right? Oh, you just opened a can of worms there, Night Owl. You just opened a can of worms. Okay, speaking of the Roman Catholic Church and the popes, did anyone out there see the Borgias? The show on the Borgias? Actually, the show made the real Borgias and all the real popes look like uh, kindergarten kids at a picnic. It was way worse than what they showed on TV, way worse. And see, Night Owl says, want to bet blackmail was common by the priest long ago and maybe presently. Yes, blackmail, distortion, extortion, um, um, uh, sexual abuse, rapes, all that kind of stuff. Everything under the sun, because the popes didn't have anything, any guidelines to say what they could and couldn't do. And so they would command kings and just make them do whatever they fancied, you know, like it was all completely corrupt, completely. That's why the Roman Catholic Church over there in the middle, or way over there in Italy and that, is so rich. They got so many wealth of jewels and manuscripts and everything under there. It's just mind-boggling. That's why, because they stole it from everyone by murdering people, stealing everything, blackmail, everything like that, anything underhanded. That's how they got their wealth and riches, through the popes, was through deceit and everything like that, blackmail, whatever, murder, theft. Oh, it was bad, way back in those days. Well, at least you're on the right track, Euphoric. Euphoric says, where am I now? I believe in freedom and UFO. You're not far off the mark. You're not far off the mark. I haven't even got to that part about aliens, UFOs, and all that part, but they are all a part of this. They're all a part of this. But yeah, that's what I guess Jesus was talking about too, amongst everything else, with freedom, also freedom, you know. That's everything's been distorted since then. Everything. Yes, Darlene, I would never put a child through that either. No, that's why, you know, I don't care if nobody goes to church anymore, because they're all modern, man-made, modern churches that are all distorted with different doctrines that never existed. You know, too many of them, and they don't even realize they're doing it wrong. They learn from someone else who learned from someone else who learned from someone else who learned from someone else, and it's just passed on through generations until someone stops and says, hey, you know, let's go back and look at the original and find the real truth and then start over again. And that's what I do. You're totally in the earthly favor. I know you are. You just make me laugh so much, Euphoric. She says, I'm rolling up my weed now. I'm going to get stoned and listen. You do that. Whatever makes you happy and makes you feel good. I wish I could do that right now, because this is so much fun. I almost kind of never want it to end. It's the longest I've actually ever gone, and I just, I don't know, I just got to keep going on. John Jarvis is right on board, Granny. Sorry, Euphoric Granny. Yeah, John's he makes the Rick Simpson oil and helps cure cancer patients. He's a good guy, on the right track too. Exactly. Euphoric says, I'm in church right now. Whoops. Where to go? I'm in church right now. Stop moving. And I'll just get high, and they're real. Yeah, well, you're in church wherever you are, especially outside. That was one important thing that Jesus said, that church is not in a building, it's outside. You know, he loved to go to the wilderness. How many stories have you read about him going to pray to God in the wilderness, right? Aliens, Euphoric, I'm going to enlighten you a little bit, but aliens were around long before humans were on this planet. Long before. Possibly long before the humanoids or hominids existed on Earth too, but they go way back, long before humans, at least modern humans anyway. The aliens, yeah, that's another story I'll get into another time, because we're already on a huge subject right now, just getting to the basics. That's right, Darlene. You just try to be kind, love the woods, the sun, the rain, hug a tree, pick wild plants, mushrooms, whatever, and live in nature, love the animals, love your neighbors. You know what? Now that I brought that up, Jesus, or someone came to Jesus and said, what is the most important um, commandment out of all of the 10 commandments? I mean, there's 10 commandments, but then there's hundreds of commandments. The 10 are just the main ones given to Moses. But anyway, they said, what out of the 10 commandments, what is the most important commandment? And Jesus says, other than have no other God but him, he said, if you just do the one commandment which says, love thy neighbor as thyself, you have encompassed pretty much all the commandments, because that's what it boils down to, is love thy neighbor as thyself. And if you can do that, it's the hardest commandment of all. Hey Carl, glad you could show up. You're a bit late, but that's cool. That is the hardest commandment, because you don't have to like your neighbor, but you have to love him as a human. So if he needs food and he's starving, you feed him. If he needs clothes, you give him clothes and that. But you don't have to like him, but you have to love him. You see what I mean? There's a difference. You can hate his guts, but if he's in need and he's suffering, you help him, no matter if you hate his guts or not. If you do that, it doesn't matter that you hate his guts or you both hate each other. It doesn't matter. As long as you go to your way to help another human being that's suffering and needs help. That's the essence of the whole thing. So loving thy neighbor as thyself is the hardest commandment, but it's the one that encompasses most of the commandments. And that's exactly what you do. Yes, John, she is a great human. I can tell because I've listened to her, watched her comments for so long now that, yeah, she's a very great human. John says, Darlene, you sound like a great human. Doesn't sound like one, she is one. You don't have to like your neighbor, but if they're in trouble and they're starving and they need food, you feed them. You don't have to like them, but you have to love them as a human being. Love that the fact that they are a human and they need your help. Just like, animals that are, let's say you find an animal in distress and they're stuck, whatever, they're thrown away, whatever, you help that animal. That's exactly what that means. You help an animal. You don't have to like that animal, you can pass it on to someone else, but you helped an entity in trouble, and that is the number one thing. Oh, that's why you're late, Carl. Carl Simpson, that's the guy that gave me my bass fishing lures, his handmade bass fishing lures. Can't wait to try them out. Anyway, he's late because he took his wife out to dinner for her birthday. Well, I don't know why you're here. You should still be celebrating your wife's birthday. Your wife and her birthday are very important. And now you're sitting here listening to me. Anyway, good on you, buddy. Good on. Take your wife out for her birthday. That's great. Perfect. So NH Pet Needle's going to join Granny in the stuff. Have some mango CBD wax. Nice, nice. I love mango. Mango is a fruit, but mango flavored anything would be just fantastic. Especially CBD wax or any kind of wax. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I should have said that too. Thanks, NH Bent Needle. Yeah, I should have said this too, but happy birthday to your wife there, Carl. Yes, give her our blessings, please. Oh, man. I should have you nearby me all the time, you fork. You'd make me laugh all the time and I forget all my troubles. Some wax dabs are my favorite. Buggers, I'm laughing. Yeah, actually, once you do extracts, oil, dabs, wax, shatter, all that kind of stuff, it's hard to go back to the green because you get all the good stuff without smoking the green, right? The green makes you cough and hurt your lungs and throat and everything, but you get the extracts and you cut out all that extra stuff you don't need and just have a little tiny bit of that and you're good to go for hours. Oh my God, this has been fun. This has been fantastic. Yeah, actually, I was earlier when this topic about religion and churches and all that started, I was a little hesitant to say anything, but you know, that's my nature. That's what's in me. I hear stuff and I gotta say something, and I'm glad I did, because you guys gave me a really, really good response on it. Better response than I've ever got from most people. Like I said, most people, I try to talk to them about church, religion, the truth of anything. For me, it's the truth. The truth is number one. That's what I went searching for when I was a lot younger, the truth. And that's what I found. And guys talking, they say I'm crazy, I'm an idiot. They can't believe a damn thing that comes out of my mouth and blah. You know, they say a lot worse than that too. They call me all sorts of weird names and stuff. And you know, it's unfortunate because they're still living in their denial, in their falsehoods, and they don't seem to want to see the truth or hear the truth or find the truth or something. You know, it's sort of sad when it comes. Steve's Goods Online, fantastic products. I'm gonna have to look that up. Although I make my own fantastic products, I always have been for a long time, but I've slowed down on that a lot because I'm trying to deal with my condition without other interventions, I guess. Oh, there you go. That's great to hear, Darlene. Yeah. Darlene needed a hug today. You need a hug all the time. Every time I think I talk to you, you need a hug. But she says, but today, John's kind words will do. Yeah. I mean, oh, wow. Diana Duchess, oh, glad you could show up. Glad you could make it. And thank you so much for your donation to help support this channel. That is fantastic. Thank you so much, Diana. I don't know how much you've been listening and how much you caught yet, but yeah, that is fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you so much. I'm getting a difference between this comments in there and these comments here. Yeah, okay, Diana, that's just glad you can make it and fill in more details, but that is the truth of it. I'm just going to start with the part where the shadow government is deeply ingrained, but we are awakening to the truth, is being exposed. Yes, exactly. That's the problem with most of the world, is the shadow government. You know, there really was never any real government for the people, by the people at all. It was always a shadow government, always has been, always will be, and it's the money people. The money people, the greedy money people that created the central banks and everything like that, they're the ones that have been running the show long before Abraham Lincoln. Trust me. And that's it, you know, and we have to wake up to see this truth and expose them and expose this truth. And, you know, hopefully we can fight against this, because we're going to need to. The shit's going to hit the fan here soon. And we need to fight against these people. They're bad. They're driven by Satan, basically. If they're driven by anyone. Did you see that? Darlene NH Bent Needle was sending you a physical hug. That's so nice, so nice. Oh, good. You've been listening, Diana. That's excellent. That's good that you. I don't know how much you caught, but hope you caught most of it. Yeah, so yeah, so anyway, it's been a while. It's been 2.5 hours. I don't think I ever could have imagined being on here for this long. And when I started this morning, I thought, I'm not going to be here long. I don't feel good. I don't have much to say. I got a few songs to sing and that's it. And I'm going to do a quick show and be gone. Look at it. Look what happened. A comment came up or something. Yes, euphoric, they are all criminals. The shadow government and all the people behind the scenes, the 1%ers, the ones that own all the central banks, they're all criminals. And the worst kind of evil criminals there is. I mean, just look at Maui for an example. You know, you got the rich people like Oprah and Zuckerberg and Bill Gates and all those evil people. They're greedy, evil monsters. And it's all about money. They don't care about people. They've got so much money and they can't help people. That's crazy. But yeah, They're all criminals, all of them. Yes, we the people. Yeah, there's no such thing as we the people. There never was. They only gave that for a facade for us so we could believe that they had our backs, and they never did. They pulled the wool over our eyes, they conned us, and they bullshitted us left, right, and center so they can control the world and the money and everything else. Yeah. We the people. What a joke. What a joke. It's all written on paper, but never came to truth, never came to reality. And, you know, we got to know the truth. Yeah, time sure flies when you're having fun, and I'm having a great time. Best time I've had in a long time with my channel. Yeah, okay, now that you brought that up, Darlene, can't wait till the old world goes and the new one comes in. Okay, we're talking about the prophecy, eh? Okay, and a lot of people think, oh, Armageddon, the end of the world, we're all going to die, blah, blah, it's going to be the end, and it's bad, disgusting. No. But if you read the words carefully, the scriptures, and even Jesus mentioned it himself, that it's only bad up until a certain point, until we get to the point that looks like we're going to actually annihilate ourselves completely off this planet, maybe even blow up the planet completely. And at that point, that's when God's going to stick his hand in to stop that process. And then Yeshua is going to come back on the clouds in great glory with trumpets blaring from one end of the earth to the other in the mothership. And they're going to stop us from annihilating, and they're going to push aside the evil ones and judge them on the left, I guess, and judge the rest of us on the right, whatever. But anyway, the whole message is not that it's the end of the world and desolation and that. The message is once God sticks his hand in to save that, and he's only sticking his hand in to save it for the elected ones, not for the rest of us, but just for the elected ones. He's gonna do that. If it wasn't for the elected ones, he would just watch us all die. That's another interesting point, but it doesn't matter. He's going to stick his hand in. That's why we don't annihilate ourselves. But the point is, we're coming to a new beginning, and that's been spoken of in Isaiah and other places all through the Old Testament stuff about how the new world is going to be run by Jesus and 144,000 saints that are going to rule the whole world and all the people, and it's going to be a paradise. It's going to be like Eden, the way it should have been a long time ago. And that's what we're coming up to. Sure, we're going to have a terrible time coming up, and things are going to happen, but the main point is that once the shit hits the fan and the dust settles, that's when we're going to get onto a better life, and that's going to be great for everybody. And that's apparently part of the second resurrection and all that. But anyway, now that we're on that subject, I want you to remember that I told you this first, but Sir Isaac Newton was obsessed by the prophecies, and he had written books and books and books on it. We had some of the books, and then they discovered a while back some books that they didn't know he had. They were kind of hidden or buried away or something, and they found them, and they were specifically on the prophecies and a timeline and everything. He was obsessed by the book of Daniel and all that kind of stuff. And the thing is he came very close. He said not before 2060 and not after 2090. Well, he's close, but he was a little too far out yet. Anyway, if you study the Mayan scriptures and stuff like that, there's a thing in there by God. I'm not going to say which God or who, whatever. That's a moot point. Yeah, that's right. I got to catch up with these comments. No, Hurricane Lee hasn't hit us. I think that's the East Coast. Well, hopefully it doesn't. We've never had a hurricane in BC yet that I know of. And yeah, Maui, direct energy weapons, lasers, that's what used to start the fires. It wasn't a natural fire. None of it was. Evil, corrupt people. Yeah, don't be a part of the government anymore. Don't. Okay, so anyway, so in the Mayan scriptures, it says that God will return on one of his Baktun years. And a Baktun years is every 75 years. And if you take it from the time he wrote it, I think it was 3140 BC, 3140 BC, somewhere around that time. From that point on, if you take every 75 years, every Baktun year, up till now, there's only 2 points that he can return. One of them is 2035, and the other one is 2087. Those are the 2 Baktun years in our generation now, within the time of the end times that is happening right now. So the thing is, we're not going to survive till 2087. That's almost 80 years from now. With what's happening now, we're not going to survive that. Look at Maui. Look at the greedy money people taking everything away from us, destroying everything. We can't last till 2087. So it has to be 2035, which is actually number 100 out of the Baktun years from 3140. Or sorry, it's number 99. 2087 is number 100. So in a cycle, it goes 1 to 9, so or up to 99, and then 100 is starting again. You see what I mean? So he has to return at the end, not the beginning. So anyway, mark my words. Everyone remember I told you this, because I'm positive this is the time it's going to happen. And that's when the end comes, is 2035. That's when the shit hits the fan, the dust settles, and everything changes over. Or somewhere in that realm, but that's what 2035 is a key time. Now I forgot there's another point I was going to make to that, and I forgot what it was. Oh, that's very true, euphoric. UFO experts know this because they believe it is possible that the gods could be the ultimate source of UFO. You hit the nail right on the head pretty much. I'm not going to elaborate on that, but that's exactly what it is. The gods are the aliens. Now I forgot what I was going to follow up with that, but 2035, remember, that's going to be a very key year. And you heard it straight from my mouth, and I've studied this over and over again, and with everything I've seen and read and stuff, that is probably the year. And if you look at everything that's going on now, we can't last much longer than 2035. I mean, they had a mandate with the WEF for this new world reset for 2030, and then a while back, I don't even know how, maybe a year ago, they started pushing that up. They want this 2030 reset to be done at 2025. That's only 2 years away. So we're not going to last past 2035. That's when the shit's going to hit the fan, the dust's going to settle, and things are going to move on. So remember that I was the one that told you 2035 is a very key date for the new beginning, or at least the end and the new beginning. World War III, I mean, that's what it is. World War III isn't a world war. What the World War III is, and I said that as soon as COVID happened, the first thing that came out of my mouth when I heard COVID and all this lockdown, the masks and all that garbage that they were throwing at us, the first thing I said was, the 1%ers, the money people that run the central banks and own all the money in the world, they just declared war on the human race. That's what I said at the beginning of 2019 when the COVID happened. I said the 1%ers have just declared war on the human race, and that's what they did. That's what Third World War is. It's about the money people against the rest of us. But with that happening, you know, we've got these countries that have got all this powers and nuclear weapons and everything. So it's going to be a challenge between them. People are going to start pushing buttons. Bombs are going to go off. Stuff like that. That's going to happen too. But the real world war is the money people against us. And that is so evil and corrupt. Anyway. I think we've gone on and on about this subject. I mean, I can go on and on about it, but I just want you to remember that you heard that from me. It's 2035. Because I'm convinced that's the day. And I studied all of Isaac Newton's stuff. And he was obsessed by the prophecies. And I think out of all the people on the planet, I'm even more obsessed about the prophecies from the scriptures and everything than he was. And I obsess over them. And I look at every little detail and try and find out every little thing. But he was very, very close. He had it so close it's not funny. But he was a little too far ahead. Yeah, so anyway. I hope you enjoyed everything. I hope that brings you up to speed on a lot of different things, especially the religious, spiritual kind of stuff, the aliens, UFOs, and all that stuff. But, you know, that's right, Diana. Love, not war. They were singing about that a long, long time ago. That's another thing, too. Okay, you know why Jesus had the symbol of the fish? It's because he was born in the time of Pisces. from the constellation Pisces. He was born just in the beginning of Pisces. And he said, when he said, this generation will not pass away before the end comes, he wasn't talking about the generation of people like generation to generation. He was talking about the generation of Pisces. Because you remember in the 60s, they started singing the song about Aquarius. We're entering the time of Aquarius and all that. That's what's happening. In 2091 is the beginning of Aquarius. We go from Pisces to Aquarius. So that's the generation he's talking about, the generation of Pisces that he was born into, and he's in control of, or whatever. He's talking about that generation of Pisces, and that generation will not pass by. So as long as it happens before 2091, and especially 2087, that's will fulfill what he said by saying this generation will not pass away until all these things happen. He's talking about the generation of Pisces, and we're just heading into Aquarius pretty soon here. Well, maybe 100 years yet, but we're close to it or something. But still, that's what he was talking about, not the generation of people. He was talking about the generation of Pisces, because back then everything was related to the constellations. The zodiac was created long before humans were here, and that was given to the humans for their knowledge to know when the gods were returning again. That's what all that was about. And so he was referring to the generations of the zodiac that was put down in place thousands of years ago. And that's what they lived by back then. So that's what he was talking about. You're not a pheasant, you're a peasant. Sorry, euphoric. You're a pheasant, so it's okay. Thank you for the opportunity. Well, you better hide, because I think it's pheasant hunting season coming up. You better hide away, someone's going to shoot you. I know you meant peasant, I'm pretty sure. I think you did, anyway. Oh, that's great to hear, John. Yeah, it seems like everyone that shows up to my live shows really enjoys listening to me and everyone else, and interacting with everyone here. We have a really good community. I think it's great. And one of the nicest things about it is the truth. The truth. We all speak the truth. We don't bullshit, lie, and do stupid things. And the age of Aquarius is coming. The age of Aquarius changes. It flips from Pisces to Aquarius in 2091, approximately. The zodiacs in the sky are slightly random. They're not exact. So it's an approximation, but you can come, like, what was it? When Jesus was born, he was already, I think it was 68 years into the constellation of Pisces. And so then after he died, then we as human beings have been living the next almost 2,000 years of the rest of the constellation of Pisces. But that's why he referred to being, the fish was important to him. It wasn't about him because he caught fish and he was a fisherman and all that kind of stuff. It was because he was born into Pisces, and then that generation of Pisces will not pass away before the end comes and the new beginning of that. So it has to happen in this vague time frame right here around 2035 or so, to fulfill his prophecies and all the other prophecies. Yes, I knew you meant peasants. But yeah, the song, it's the dawning of the age of Aquarius. They were singing that back in the 60s, because they knew Aquarius was coming up. And that's, basically in the 60s, we were sort of in the tail end of Pisces, because it had already been around because each constellation is approximately 2,160 years, approximately. Each one's slightly different because the size and shape of the constellation itself up there. I mean, that's a whole new subject. I could go on for hours about it, telling you how that all works and how it got created and everything like that. You're an Aquarius, Darlene, yes. I heard this back, probably 20, 30 years ago, something like that. I forget who it was, a medium or something, clairvoyant medium or something like that. And he said a lot of Aquarians are being born in this time around the 1960s and 70s. That's when a lot of Aquarians, and even before that, a lot of Aquarians were being born into the world then, because we're at the tail end of Pisces and we're coming to Aquarius. And that's why a lot of Aquarians were born from that time frame up and still right now. So yeah. And no, he wasn't born on Christmas. No, he wasn't. That's a fabrication too. That's okay. Back in the days, there was a challenge between the Christian churches and the Roman Catholic churches, and or I should say, the Roman churches. Not the Roman Catholic hadn't existed yet. The Roman churches were all pagan, and they were their main god was Saturna, I believe it was. That was their main god, and their date for honoring Saturna was, guess what? December 25th. So in order to try and cancel that out and make it go away and pretend it never existed, that's why they adopted December 25th for the birth of Jesus, so they could try and distort the fact that everyone else was praying to pagan gods on Saturn on December 25th. That's why he was actually born more closer to April or something. His birth and his death were very, very close to the same time frame, sometime around April-ish. And that's been proven through historical evidence and everything like that. Is, you know, like, he basically died around the same time he was born. So, and it was definitely wasn't in December, not at all. No, why would they have the Epiphany on the 6th of January, right? That's the Epiphany. You know, I don't know. That's actually, I'm getting off the subject. I might have been confusing something there. So Night Owl, you're a Gemini. I'm a Taurus. I'm a Taurus on the cusp of Gemini. But I'm like full-blown Taurus. If you look into me and my personality, character, everything about me, I'm a full-blown Taurus. I'm really earthy, but I do feel certain qualities of the Gemini. When I read about them, I can feel a lot of those qualities in me, but I am definitely a full-on Taurus. Yeah, and I'm very stubborn. Oh, Hannah, you're a Taurus too. Good, 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 good. Good, 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 good. Just trying to catch up on these comments, see if I missed anything. It's too bad I missed a couple of back then, but they were going by so fast, it was crazy. A few new people showed up and everyone, oh, Diana, you're Scorpio. Cool. My thing is I guess if you look at it in depth and detail and do a really, really good job of the Western horoscope, you can get a lot of truth and stuff about yourself and timelines and all that. Excuse me, all that. But that stuff in the newspapers, all that's kind of vague. And I never really got into the newspaper stuff because you can read your little blurb on yourself and it could apply to any one of the signs, right? You know, like, because it's just a little blurb. It just says stuff. But you have to do a really deep, in-depth thing. The thing I like is the Chinese horoscope. I find that way more accurate and way more revealing. I'm a sheep in the Chinese horoscope, and everything I read through that and about that applies to me or anyone I know that I know their sign, whether they're a rabbit or whatever. It's like really like bang on kind of thing, and so I've always been more leaning towards the Chinese horoscope than the Western horoscope, but that's just a moot point, and it's because people use the Western horoscope in a more vague manner instead of doing a very in-depth study into the entity, right? Oh, wow. Lila says, do you do a lot of reading? I used to do a lot of reading. I don't do so much anymore. It's a very specific and detailed reading I do now, just filling in the little details in between, but I used to read everything. I mean, well, I shouldn't say just everything. And I can't tell you what my favorite, well, I guess I can tell you my favorite books. My favorite books are the biblical books, all of the scriptures, the Apocrypha, anything that originally was in the Old Testament and the New Testament, all that. Everything that originally was supposed to be there, that's my favorite books to read. Anything on that subject. About Jesus, God, all that kind of stuff, who we are, where we came from, the aliens, all that kind of stuff, our creators. But I mean, way back when, like, I used to read a lot of sci-fi. I loved Robert Heinlein, Arthur C. Clarke. Oh, I can't even remember half the authors I read, but I used to read a lot of stuff. I loved to read. It used to take me off to a different world and take me away from the problems I was with in the here and now. But then I started drifting away from those and getting back to more of the realistic stuff, like anything on historical events, anything to do with history, reality and stuff like that, but especially about the Bible and all the books, the scriptures, the Judaic books, everything. Those are my favorite subject because it talks about one of the most important things to us is God, Yeshua, his son, and then us, and that's the essence of why we're here and who we are and all that kind of stuff. Because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't exist, I guess. I'm not even going to touch that one. That one will take us off into a big tangent. You hit the nail on the head, Darlene. Most of the world is asleep. They're asleep. They're in denial. They don't want to wake up. I mean, you know what? When I finally realized that how corrupt this world was, the government, the one percenters, all those people in that, and what was really happening, and that JFK wasn't murdered by some crazy man. He was actually murdered by the government and the one percenters, the people that ran the banks and everything, and all that kind of stuff. When I started realizing all that, it was really painful to realize that the government didn't have our back, and what I had been told wasn't real. It was very painful to break that concept I had in my mind and then open my mind up to the reality of the world. Was very painful. And I think that's why a lot of people are in denial, because they're afraid of the truth. They can't handle the truth because it totally destroys what they've believed all their life, that they've been taught, what they believe, and they've grasped that so hard, that's what they believe. And it's really psychologically painful when you wake up. I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but when you finally wake up and realize the whole big picture, it's very painful in the psyche. But once you get past that point, then you feel much better and you get stronger and stronger and happier, because you're actually learning the truth, the reality of what we were supposed to know in the first place. So yeah, but the world is asleep, but they're in denial. That's the worst thing. Fear and denial are the two worst things now. Fear, it freezes people, and they don't want to come out of that shell. They can't. Yeah, actually, as a young boy, I grew up kind of in church, not like all the time, but my mom tried to get us in church and give us good values and all that kind of stuff. And, she believed in God, and we said our prayers at night and stuff like that. But I was probably like anywhere between 8 and 10 years old when a lot of stuff we're saying in Sunday school, because the parents would go to church and the kids would go to Sunday school until the kids were old enough to behave in church. And some of the stuff they were trying to shove down our throat, I said, that can't be right. They were telling us, oh, God is all love, and he loves you and loves you and loves you. And then they turn around and say, be afraid of God. It's like, well, he can't love you and make you be afraid of him at the same time. There was too many hypocrisies there. And that's how you learn at a young age there's something wrong with the teachings of the church, not the church itself, but the teachings of the church. And that's a manifestation of what's happened over the years since way back when. It's just everything's gotten more and more distorted as time goes on. Well, I'm glad. Too bad it took you the COVID thing to be wakened up there, Anna. But yeah, I think the COVID thing woke up a lot of people, but a lot of them are still asleep. They're still in denial, and they're still afraid, and they don't want to believe the truth because it hurts their psyche too much to believe everything that they believed in all their life that they were told is mostly a lie. And to realize that is really hard on the psyche. I mean, it was for me when I first really woke up and the big picture just exploded in my head, and I went, holy crap, this is everywhere. It's not just here and here and there. It's not just the church. It's everywhere. Like, it was hard, but then once I grasped that, I felt better and better as I realized the truth, and more of the truth all the time. But yeah, anyway, this has been a really wonderful time. Wow, we're not even a minute left for 3 hours. Holy crap, this is a long time. I would stay here for hours. I'd love to do this for a long time. The only thing is my girls. I mean, I know they can see me. I can see them. They're fine. They won't be hurt. They got water and everything. But the thing is they miss me, and they need my company. And the longer it goes, the more they freak out when I come back. So that's the only reason I'm going to have to leave today again. That's another thing too, Night Owl. Yeah. It's even painful to suddenly find out you were not told the truth about the family. Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone goes through that at some time in their life. Yeah. There's a lot of lies told in the family that, if they were told us the truth in the first place, things would be a lot different, a lot better, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah, family's one of the worst units there is. Wow. That's another story in itself. Every time you say something, you make me laugh. Before, keep going until I'm not able to get enough education. My eyes are bad and I can't find my glasses. Yeah, I would love to keep going, but yeah, if it wasn't for the dogs, I would. But I really worry about them. They're always playing in the back of my head there that, I got to take care of my girls. They're fine. Nothing's going to happen. They're not going to be hurt or anything. They're just their feelings maybe, because they miss me so much. That's about it. But yeah, I can't stay away from them too long. Oh, thanks, Lila. Great to hang out with you on a Sunday afternoon as well, too. Great to hang out with all of you on a Sunday afternoon. It's fantastic. Thank you, Diane. I will try to have a great evening. You all try to have a great evening. Oh, you're a Cancer, eh, John? Yeah. That is quite interesting. Hey, you're a Cancer, and here you're helping cancer patients. That's quite, what's the word? There's a word for that. Coincidental. Coincidental. That's one of the good words. That is crazy. There's a lot of interesting coincidences in life, isn't there? All right, yeah. I guess we're going to have to cut this now. It's 3 hours and 1 minute. I can't believe I lasted this long. What is the actual time? I can't see the... Oh, it's 3 o'clock almost. Almost 3 o'clock. Wow, that's interesting. 3 hours and it's almost 3 o'clock. That's interesting timing too there. So Euphoric says, have a good night, Diana. And I'm sure she's saying that to everyone. Everyone's saying, good, have a good night to everyone else. Yeah, you all have a great day, a great night, and everything like that. My video is coming out on Tuesday. It's already been processed. I filmed it on Thursday, Friday, and it's going to be uploaded probably today or tomorrow. That'll be for Thursday, and that'll be about me cutting wood, and hopefully the video after that will be me moving on to the campgrounds. So that'll be great. Won't be sitting in Whiskey Creek all the time anymore. We'll be moving to campgrounds and doing all sorts of good stuff. Yeah, everyone's saying their good nights and goodbyes and stuff. That's perfect. It was fun, wasn't it, John? It's always fun on this channel, on my lives. Always fun. It gets better every time. This was one of the best ones yet. We really covered a lot of ground. And it ain't just the singing anymore. There's a lot of information and truths to be had. Yeah. So anyway, I guess on that note, I guess it actually hurts me to say goodbye, good night, whatever. But we'll definitely see you next time for sure. And we've always got lots of time to get together and have a lot of these fun chats and talks and community get-togethers. So, man, I don't even want to go. But yeah, till next time. You said it. Till next time. Okay, everyone. I got to take care of my girls, and I'd love to hang out with you 24 hours a day, but nothing would get done that way. Oh yeah, Diana. I will give lots of love to the girls from you, hugs and kisses and all that, from you and all the others and that. And that beautiful donation, Diana, that's mainly going to go to the girls. That's my number one thing. The girls get everything first and then me at the end. Okay, just so you know. Just so you know, it'll go to good use for the girls. And a little bit to me, maybe. So, look forward to seeing my video coming out Tuesday. That'll bring you up to speed on what's been happening for the last 3 or 4 days there, and what we're going to be doing coming up here in the very, very near future. So, look forward to that, and we'll catch you on the flip side, I guess. So, take care, everyone. Stay safe, have fun, enjoy, and always seek the truth. Please, seek out the truth and don't listen to the lies and the bullshit. And, wake yourself up and become enlightened for your own good and your safety as well. So you take care, everyone. Glad you could make it, and we'll catch you. Well, you'll see my videos, and then we'll catch you live on next Sunday, hopefully. All right. Ciao for now.